Welcome everyone. It's 1:47 on the clock. I was just clearing with the bell. It was 1:44 at that time. I have a few of my messages of the day, really profound energies. There's a lot coming up again about the Vesica Pisces, as well as Atlas and the Luz bone, the energy of the hourglass and the infinity and all how that works together with the Merkaba. Really all putting that together. There's a rant that came up around American Pie. Of course, it's altered. And yeah, so I would stay tuned. There's a lot of really cool information. And I have the twin flame read on the table for you. We'll do this at the end. So let's go ahead and take our few deep breaths first, and then we're going to get going. We'll roll the die. We'll do oracle cards. I'll probably pull a card now and at the end. So go ahead and take a few deep breaths. Another deep breath. One more deep breath. Wrap that love around your heart. Transmute, transform, transcend, and clear. And then go ahead and send it out anywhere you'd like. To send love, to send healing out to yourself, to the world. Give a shout out to Mercury and Venus too today. Okay. And again, I've already pulled in the energies of Source, Creator of all that is, Sophia, 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 all my guides and angels coming in today for the best and highest good of all those concerned. Let's go ahead and roll the die. And again, die as in diamond, and almonds was coming up as well for the twin flames today, this July 20th, 2023. Okay, we have the moon here. So of course the moon is Cancer energies. We also just passed the new moon on the 17th. By the way, I wanted to bring that up too. The day of the changing of the guards, right, the new moon, and the nodal changes from Taurus to Aries and from Scorpio into Libra was really tough energies. I was really dizzy all night that night for no apparent reason. Every time I got up, I felt dizzy and I just need to lie down. And then I never get headaches, and I had a headache for like 2 days. So there's definitely some tough energies, perhaps some spiritual attacking going on in there to try to force people's energies down. But again, transmute, transform, transcend, and clear. Clear that energy, bring it to love. So we have the moon. We have 11, which is justice, and Libra there, that's alignment, truth, and balance. The pillar energy. And then we have Aquarius here too. And again, of course, it brings up water energy there as well. Perhaps the mountains too. I was just getting, is that Cassiopeia? The W? I was getting that too. So we have justice in the middle, alignment in the middle, between Cancer and Aquarius. And Cancer staring at me over here too, the 6-9 over here. And that pod comes up today too. The moon in Aquarius. And Aquarius is Uranus, sudden changes. And we're in Cancer, but we're going to be leaving Cancer in a day or two. I'm not sure exactly when it shifts. But we're aligning with this energy as we go in from Cancer to Leo. And of course, this is a major gate right here. It's, in some calendars, this is actually the beginning of the year. I believe it's the 23rd, and we have feast day, Mary Magdalene, on the 22nd. And again, the 21st being that shift date again. So there's a lot of powerful energy coming in here. Again, propelling us towards Lionsgate, which is it's not a typical Lionsgate this year. This year and then next year is going to be this culmination of Lionsgate. It's going to be 888 next year. We also have coming up, as I just lost my voice, we have coming up at towards the end of August. I brought it up on the other video. Again, the energies of the Philadelphia experiment from 43 and 83 coming back around August this year. So I think it was around the 13th, the 12th to the 15th specifically. So to send lots of love during that time, and actually now in this whole portal that we're in right now, it's a good idea to send love out to those energies every day. Send love to CERN, right, to transmute those energies, transmute, transform, transcend, and clear. All right, so as I lost my voice, all right, that's a biggie energy right there. And this is the kind of energy in my throat right now, too, that I was feeling at the changing of the guards on the 17th. I also was just outside, and I still use my 4D version of my 4G version of my internet connection. And today when I went out to my deck, it wasn't letting, if I get close enough to the house, it'll let me reconnect again. But today it wouldn't let me reconnect to the 4G. And when I hit the 5G choice, which I don't necessarily want to use, it did allow me back into the 4G. So just know that there is a way back in. But that's the first time I've experienced that, where it said I couldn't join that network. Usually it's just a signal clearance that I can't reach. So there's definitely those energies out there, trying to push us down. And I've been sending out my Instagrams to Twitter too, and it's very disheartening on Twitter, because there's a lot of energy out there of Asian girls, who are emaciated. They're just pumping this energy out on purpose, because it's it breaks your heart to watch that energy. But there's a lot of that being pumped out on purpose to lower your vibration. So just send love to raise the vibration of the energy. And again, don't worry about loving something that's negative. They don't like that energy, so they're going to pull away from it. But in the meantime, you can transmute those energies as well. We are being alchemists. We're transforming the negative energies into positive energy. So let's pull a card from my Fortunes Oracle with this amazing energy it has. And then we're going to get right into my first message of the day. So this one was done on the 17th, on that portal day. I have one from the 18th and then yesterday. And this morning, just a short message. I didn't do a full read this morning, but I did pull a few cards. All right, so for now, what do we have here? Oh, and that just flipped right over. All right, there we go. The lucky 4-leaf clover. You're right to be strong and optimistic about the opportunities ahead. And again, there's that 19 of the sun and luck. And we also have the proposal coming up here. And there's that Vesica Pisces again coming up. The 27 is the Queen's Gambit. The 2 is the Q, and the 7 is the 7 is the gamma ray. It's the boomerang. It's the key, and it's also now pi. So one of the definitions of pi came up as PE, and PE is also that gamma ray that looks like a number 7. So there's that Queen's Gambit again, along with Vesica Pisces. A romantic or business opportunity is indicated here. And again, here I was getting lucky strike here. Okay, luck and proposal. The Sun and the Queen's Gambit, the Ace of Wands, the flame, the 3rd flame. So really powerful energy coming up for you right there. And the Moon's coming up here too. There's one more card that wants to be seen. The Moon is also the number 21, which is the world. So there's this connection between the world and the Moon that keeps coming up with this card. And here's that energy too of the gate holders and holding the energy between. And again, we have Sirius and the Sun that's going on right now as well, around the Moon and the Earth. And again, there's romance here coming up with these 2 cards, okay? So luck in this proposal. Remember, Vesica Pisces comes up as holy water, the ocean water, the womb of the Earth. And then there's the Earth and the Moon energies coming up with the world. And then we have the flowers energy. So there's the blossoming, the awakening of the collective. The flower also represents the folding within, inside out yourself, within each other. Today came up with plants. Remember that when the plant grows, the stem is the first piece that comes out. Remember that, because that came up randomly in something I was reading online, and then it fed into something else I was reading to send me a message. So again, the 11 is coming up here with alignment, justice, truth, and balance. Again, just being generous. Success and emotional fulfillment are yours. And then notice those flowers, appreciate them. And then it can keep going here. These actually did come up earlier, so I'm just going to show them to you really quick. The next three cards, Phoenix, the Lovers, and the Transformation, again, breaking of the chains. Again, the Knight of Wands, who lights the fire under your butt, the Lovers, romance with the 18, and then 32 is that journey of transformation and breaking your chains. The bottom of the deck is Judgment, which is today. Okay, today's the 20th, and it adds up to the 34, which is the 8 of Wands, the energetic exchange, the arrows of love. I posted that on Instagram with some more pictures and messages, so if you want to check out Instagram, please do. We have the 14 of the Temperance card, right? The patient angel, that higher love. It's all about patience. And the book, the open book, remember that too, because that comes up in this read from today as well. And there's that star. The thorns are coming up underneath that. The thorny crown was coming up major time in these reads. So let's see what's going on here. All right. So here's the first message of the day. For those of you not familiar, the left is the underlying energies. I usually pull 3 cards for each deck. And then any other cards that want to come out organically are part of the numerology that I use, as well as to finish off the storyline. So we have the Fortunes Oracle I just showed you at the top. And then we have the Starseed deck there. And then the that's Nature's Whispers, and then the Rider-Waite at the bottom. Okay. Okay, so like I said, this one was done on the 17th. This was done 351 to 355 to 56. The King and Queen of Swords, the Knight of Swords, Page of Swords, and then the Truth, the Ace of Swords to the Two of Swords, right? The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And then being careful, the Two of Swords, when you get clarity, it can knock you off balance, right? Because the Two of Swords upright is that peace of mind that you seek, which is why a lot of people don't want to know, because then it knocks them off balance. So that energy is coming up there as well. A lot about the box as opposed to the circle keeps coming up. Even Magenta Pixie was talking about the 4. She usually says the 3 is all, and now she's saying the 4 is all. And I was getting a lot about the 4s before, so I'm like, because I keep saying, 4 is source, that's the complete connection. So that was interesting. That was coming up as well. So the numbers at the end of each deck for this read was 3112 and 46435. And so the messages went as follows. The group leap of the 24, which is the Queen of Wands, it's also Omega, right, where enlightenment happens at the crown. The group leap of the 24, Queen of Wands lovers, for the wounded warrior, or to the 46, which is the 6 of Cups, in coming together with the Hierophant and freedom. The Hierophant, also in alchemy, is the master of the hidden house. And I did actually, by the way, go to see the Sound of Freedom in the theater with my daughter this week. Very powerful energies there. Really good, because he makes a bit of a talk afterwards about how much of a struggle it was for him to actually get the movie out there. It took him 5 years to get it out because of all the roadblocks, right? The energies were putting in front of him so that it wouldn't be seen. The group and the Hu-Man, the group and he left out to dry, and the children with the Emperor and the Empress, perhaps a married couple, a religion or an institution, or grandparents perhaps, as the Empress and the High Priestess with justice between, aligning with stability and freedom, and lovers' union for love, as opposed to something else like stability or money. 3 to 4, 5, and that 31 leap to the 4 before starting at the 1 again. the 6 of spiraling into the 4 of the lambda leap, the lambda father leap again, 3 to 5, down and around and up again. Hanging out with children or a group, conflicts, sports, perhaps pursuits, for joy and freedom, as the Queen of Wands and the Wounded Warrior in a blissful surrender, or hanging out with the Emperor's bliss, with the Empress, Master of the Hidden House, urgent social and community need to and for the children and family for their joy and freedom. And that was at 419. Again, the lambda leap of the 4 and then the 19 of the sun. At 421, again, bringing in the world. The 2 and the 1 is also the masculine and feminine, the world, completion. The underlying energy of the proposal on the 27, the 2 and the 7, the Queen's Gambit. And the 11 of the seal of subtle luminosities, the 34 of vulnerabilities, and the 2 of Pentacles reversed. The Queen's Gambit, an opportunity to discern, discipline. And again, sip comes up as the tip, the upper part, to cut off, chip, block, lump, and a Jeep that was from the 40s. And order also came up. So CERN, besides what you know it is as the accelerator, is also victory and triumph, the angle and swelling. I don't know if it says corner or something else. So again, this energy of unswell, to heal, or unblock, create natural boundaries, along with that order. Do not use corners and angles. 3 keys of alignment. Remember, alignment is a line. A line is 2 dots with an arc between it. And ment is intention. The arc and intent, the leap and the bridge. She sends in her pawn to see where the danger lies, what is unseen. The flame proposal can cause swelling because it heats up, and must be able to discern subtleties, right? So in your heart, can you discern the difference between a lie and a truth? So practice saying lies and truths so you understand the difference in what your heart does. And mostly what will happen is you'll breathe in deeply, like a sigh, like a surrender, like you give up. Because that's complete relaxation. That's the surrender. Slight differences or undertones, intuition, vulnerable child on a leaf, sent down the river in energetic exchange. Or is that arrows of love, like Moses? Must be aware when they go on this leaf down the river if a waterfall is up ahead in order to shift directions, breaking patterns, what you're used to. To be hyper aware now of where you could trip up, or just release the facade altogether. Stop the act or the daily grind. Take a rest, a break in the fall, to drift into the winter hibernation. At 437 is the Emperor energy, and then that King of Cups energy, and he often comes up as the Emperor or a father kind of energy, as the underlying energy of the Wounded Warrior's wish coming true here, right? The heart's desire. As the heart lights up, like E.T. in Surrender to the Angel, with arms and wings open wide, the surrender to the higher self, or the birth of a little angel, in the lambda or lambda father leap, the 2 and the 4, which is the Q and the K, right? If you move the L of the 4 over, it becomes a K, and the 2 looks like a Q, right? When you write the Q capital in script, it becomes the number 2. So the 2 and the 4 here are coming up as the Q and the K, the 2 and the 4. To that boomerang 7, the gamma ray, which equals pi, which is the key, the gamma ray, the boomerang, through each other to the other side, which then becomes the Pisces symbol of the 2 C's now back to back, with a line through the middle and horizontal as opposed to the vertical line of the pi symbol. From Aries to Pisces, which is that backwards, you know, the North Node goes backwards in the cycle. It doesn't go forward like everything else. And from Aries to Pisces is that next move. Okay, so in about a year and a half, Aries will move out of the North Node into Pisces. And then Aries was coming up as a Reese, which is funny because I grew up next to the Reeses. And also to laugh was coming up with Reese, which is also Aquarius, is to laugh, the emotion or water of laughing. The Pisces is the pi, the circle with the line down the middle, and then the C's, that the pie is made up of. Two C's facing each other with a line down the middle. Half C's. One to laugh as moving through the signs A to P, or I kept getting A and P as well, the grocery store, but A to P as in Aries to Pisces. Our E's and Pisces. So Aries and Pisces are coming up as our E's. Remember, the E is the one equal and congruent to, and has other meanings too. But also the C is the Christ consciousness, but it's also the whispering bench. It's also the arc, the bridge, the leap, right? And so then when we have the S, because of the E's and the C's, which is the ES of S and the C's of the Christus Sophia. So there's a lot of references there. I don't know, I saw that too. Somebody was talking about the Threads app by Zuckerberg that's new. It's got 666 associated, and remember, all numbers have negative and positive meanings to them, right? There's always a distortion to every positive thing because the negative wants to, get in there and distort the energy. So and again here I drew a heart with a V in the middle of the heart, right? Because the heart is basically an M at the top with a V at the bottom, and the M is co-creation and V is creation. But it's also coming up in a different way today, so I'm glad I noticed that I wrote this, because as you see, I drew a little heart and I wrote that this is the book, the heart is the book opened up, which is confirming what I was getting today in a whole another way. So as we go to the next page, by the way, that day the energy was the 17 of the star and the 31, which is that 5 of wands. But besides conflict and battles, it also represents, and sports competition, all that kind of stuff, it represents the pursuit of happiness, group efforts, acting, play, having fun together. So Aries and Pisces again coming up as Air E's and Pi C's, or that energy of Pi. Remember, Pi is also the gamma wave. So then Pisces comes up as this, right? So this is literally Pi and C's, which is then the angled toroidal field, right? The longitudinal angle, or the energy of movement there, as opposed to just up and down and across. So Air and Pi and our Pi and EC's, the cardinal E's and the fixed C's. But they're also coming up as the messenger E's, and then I went into this whole thing of figuring out which one they meant. So in Aries, AR came up, which one of the definitions is gold and treasure and the golden thread, as we just talked about the Thread app, the Threads app. And again, trying to distort that energy. The maple tree comes up under that as well. The feeling of shame, the mouth, the all, AWL, the whole maker, the number 2. And again, this is all with AR and Aries. And messenger comes up as a definition as well of the AR and Aries. The herald, the angel, the missionary, because our year to blow, slow, sluggish, and the eagle comes up with Aries as well. So ARs, air, all, eagle, 2, and gold, for me were the most significant there. Of course, the messenger and the feeling of shame also significant. The sluggish eagle messenger, Air E's. Remember, E is also a C with a line down the middle. So it's like half of salt. 2 creating holes to the gold for thread. 2 creating holes for the gold thread basically to go through. The fallen angels and the bright light and the gold thread, with grace and disgrace as definitions here, with a reference as Aries, E and C with cord to Pi or shared C's. The E within the umbilical cord, so E is that C with a line in the middle, which is referencing here the umbilical cord, shared with Pi and C's, who meet through each other or went through each other inside out to get to the other side. So again, referencing that if you're a twin flame, you've already done that marital merge, which also came up again yesterday. So pi, pi is also mouth. I always talk about that being one of the keys, right? The masculine has to step forward and speak as the feminine creates from within. You comes up here as greater than 2. I drink, I smoke, I give, I sell, I take to go on water, pine, foot, P, go, do, be, an emphatic particle. Even so, again, this is coming up as PI. The thorn, cheap, bleep, fall, tooth, or is that full? I think it's full. Big leader and thatch came up. So particle with direction came up for pi. The B, that's not just 2, but greater than 2, emotional and pining and peeing. The air, ease, and the watery seas. The parting of the fiery seas. The ease of the seas. So the parting of the fiery seas with ease. The cardinal B, emphatic and thorny, big leader who drinks and smokes, gives and tokes, and takes and sells. Air and water, which is the vapor of Eden. And the gamma ray, key with thorny direction. Rough seas. A salty leader with fresh messenger who's light and airy. They both have mouths on them. Where fresh river meets the salty sea. There are picks, a reference to directional Taurus. The slow angelic eagle, the fresh messenger of 2 creating holes for the golden thread. Very light and bright and precious, with honor and glory after disgrace, with fiery 3rd and 4th place. Air, ease, ready to chord, on a mission blowing energy to open spaces. For pi to see, or gamma key, the fixed seas to push through each other inside out, to the Pisces symbol, the chorded state. Salty B, pining and peeing, and again there's a reference to the letter P in my pin symbol, P-I-N, which is also pi with the capital N, which is the Christ energy. The ease den, to shared seas. Again, notice the difference between C and E is just that line in the middle, but also is referenced as this kind of E, right, which is the indentation of the heart, okay? That comes up today as well. So the ether is the vapor, and then becomes the breath. Breathing life into he. Pining Okio, to become a real live boy. Okay, so it's bringing up Pinocchio, pine and Okio. Breathing life into he. Pine, okay, Eo, to become a real live boy. Before he was a boy, she had to watch out for splinters, because he was thorny. But his E.T. heart turned on again, glowing in fact. After Geppetto passed, he got sent to the Isle of Misfit Toys at the North Pole and froze over, as Frosty was sent to Hades, yes, the South Pole, and melted. Nothing but slush. But the weather's been a bit crazy, and the poles tilted, so obviously if Frosty melted, then maybe they were in South America, not quite the South Pole, but you get the meaning here. As Frosty was sent to Hades, which Hades is hot, nothing but slush. But the weather's been a bit crazy and the poles tilted, enough to defrost and congeal as she just melted. Puddle in his jelly arms, his wood had softened, and all that water allowing space for his heart to grow. She had perhaps been too fixed in one state, and learned about solids, liquids, and gases, and other states of beingness, to understand that sometimes wood is hard, but also gets soft under the pressure of ice. And her ice was frozen, solid, but when melting, she could break really easily and just be a slushy mess of tears. So when he defrosted and she put out the fire, they began to understand the other's polarized position and naturally slid towards each other. As his wood was still slimy and her ice had trouble setting up, falling into the V of the valley for Frosty's birthday and Pinocchio's walk-in, digamma and roasted and rusty, and pined with eye and sound holes. Look out as he gets used to his new body, and she loosens up a bit and stretching, which brings us up to date. 7/17/2023, both of their wishes coming to fruition at 6:20, the Lovers and the Judgment Day, which is the 20 again today. The Angel's Birth, the 24 of Omega, and the Queen of Wands, the Q and the K in the Lambda Leap to the 7 of the Gamma Ray. From Omega to the Queen's Gambit, 2 rings entwined in the music of the spheres. The Phoenix of the Knight of Wands came up, 25, and the 22 Fools' mountain caps resonating, with resounding sphere above them. Ship to crown as Phoenix blasts through the undertones, peaking in an eruption at the same time a star is born. As the Knight of Wands and the Fool run into each other, as the poles are closing in, and 19's the Sun, a lucky strike. Instead of the rock hitting a stationary object and then changing direction, the rock then rolls straight on through to the other side, inside out, and ended up tied together, unable to run from each other. Ending up back to back in the courting and the courting of the seas, in a total eclipse of the heart, just a boy in front of a girl asking her to love him, after failure to launch, and now stuck in a room together until they work it out, in a slow release at 6:29, the Lovers and the 3 of Wands being present in the moment to the gifts. So as luck would have it, and the breakdown of the acronym luck, which is L, and then the U, which is the Holy Grail key, the C, which is that whispering bench, and the K, which is energy, but also comes as the king. But it comes up as the L key, the L, right? So the L is the L as an Elohim, but it's also the left and it's also the right angle. The key, CHE, and also the key, and then the U and the C are UC, the Holy Grail, and the Holy Communion. K, L, Holy Grail, and Holy Communion with energy of the needle threaded, sewn together, sowing the seeds of love. With 7, 14, 9, and 12, the Chariot is the CH, which is also HP of horsepower, which you know who Mr. Ed is, on my reads anyway, that a riot as a patient angel and hermit hang out, fireworks of the steamy kind in close encounters of the twin flame kind, bound as eagles soar over in a higher range than they're used to. To hang out with best friend, Hu, man, and dog, or reversed, is God and Namu, which is the now moment, and, which is plus, ... Together, in the now moment, in the binding of the valley of the shadow of death, the 0 point field, seizing the day, 1 to 0, or one love, and vibrating back and forth, courting and courting each other, of course. So the underlying energy of this at 6:42 is the Lovers and the 2 of Cups. The underlying cards that came up here were 16, 50, 49, 25, 57, 41, and 11. The Tower seal of colors, of multi-directional change. The Pleiadian stargate of emotional fulfillment, freedom, sensuality, and sensitivity. Beauty, an Alpha Arian, so there's that Aries energy again. The stargate of self-satisfaction, of art, expression, community, celebration, and again, A to P, Aries to Pisces. The 25 of the Knight of Wands, the great elation of reconfiguration, cycles, and gratitude. The 57 of the chamber of exhilaration, enthusiasm, learning, generosity, and fortune, healing. The 41 of the heart wave resonator, ecstasy, rapture, and flux and amplification, and the Holy Grail aligned and sealed and deciphered in the subtle planes of discernment and ordering of the dominoes collapse. So we had then the Ace of Cups to the Ace of Swords here. And again, the Ace of Cups being the Holy Grail, the Ace of Swords being the holy communication of truth. So the 66 of the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles comes up here. Remember, 66 is also the Golden Gates. It also represents the spiraling of the 2 sixes in the heart. The rose, which is the rose energy in the heart. The Golden Gate, the temple of the elevated senses, impeccable, advanced, and lofty. Cleopatra then came up, fatherly, ancestral, and fourth. So there's that 4 energy again. And Cleo is coming up with Leo, right? Cleo is the C of the whispering bench, the Christ vibration, and then the Leo of Lionsgate, and then the PA of the father, and Petra, which is the fatherly or ancestral, the 4th. The Emperor energy, the Lambda Leap. The whispering bench of Leo with Sirius ancestry. See Leo, 4th. The human Lambda Leap to the nth degree. The 24 of the Blue Star of Hope. The Queen of Wands and Omega. Ascension, surrender, and purification. With the 34 then, after the 24, the Merkaba Matrix with light body expansion. Illuminated presence with the Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Wands in energetic exchange here, which is the crown and the Golden Gate, or connected by 6, or the 66. So again, there's that reference of 3 sixes, but in a positive way. The 656 is the Lovers, and then the 56 is the 2 of Swords. And also we could have converted that 666 and transmuted those energies because the moon's been cleared, right? So 666 is 18, which is the moon. And before it was distorted, there's a lot of negative energies on the moon and recycling energy pushing us back into karma here. But that's been cleared off of the moon. So the 72 then comes up, which again is the reflection of the Queen's Gambit, the 27. The 72 is the 4 of Pentacles, which represents in the SIRIAN Starseed deck the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave. The Temple of Celestial Revelations. Angelic assistance, truth and salvation, and majesty. The 4 of Pentacles, your temple, the Divine Masculine in the Batcave. 76 is the dimensional planes of perception, number 4, of intent, ideas, and mental breakthrough. And then the 8 of Pentacles, which is double the 4 of Pentacles, with 77 in the dimensional planes of perception, number 5. So now we have the 4 and 5, which is stability and freedom, and that flutter between them. The 5 of spiritual strength, virtue, and valor, and the 2 keys of alchemy. So again, the 2 keys are coming up as the 27 and the 77, right? They both say the same thing. 27 says 2 sevens, which are keys, and 77 is just 2 keys. At 702, which again is the Chariot, the 7, and the 2 of the High Priestess with space between. The 46 of the 6 of Cups and the Lyran Stargate of ancestry, courage, wisdom, and empathy. The 6 of Cups of pure innocent love. And the 70 of the Temple of Amethystia, so amethyst coming up there, of tranquil, patient, and dissolution. The 2 of Pentacles juggling act and patterns here, as the 19 is the Sun of awakening to source, soul confidence, source essence, reassurance, and the central sun. At 706 is the underlying energy of the 24, to be your best self always, as the Queen of Wands, Andromeda, and her Pegasus Prince. 11 comes up here to make a decision. When both are good, look up. Aligning with the 18 of new experiences and possibilities, of justice and romance. The 26 of the Page of Wands, to be true to your lion's heart. That Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands, with the energies of Libra and Cancer here, and vulnerable to exchange, going with the flow, and a nap in the fall. The 25 of the Knight of Wands, keep your dreams alive, the 44 of seeking beauty, and the 30 of adventure here. The Knight of Wands, Hercules, on a union adventure, and Advent comes up there too, right? Because Advent's the beginning of December, as blue babies blow a kiss. And there's a reference to Pleiadians there. So Ken, that King and Queen energy came up. I posted a card like that on Instagram too, but here we have the K and the Q coming together, the pi and the 2, and again the Vesica Pisces here. So when you put the two circles together, you don't need the line down the middle of pi because lines aren't straight, they're curved. So when you put the two circles together, it naturally makes the curved line. So the Vesica Pisces is naturally 2 pi's together, which 2 pi is, that's 6.28, which that comes up to. So at 7/13, which again is God's birthday, December 17 to 13, but that recently was coming up for July as well, July 7th to 13th. Remember, 7/7/7 was Valentine's Day through the 13th, and again Christmas in July type of energy. Listening to the morning after, that came up there. It's got to be the morning after. We just hold on through the night, or through the storm, I forget. But listen to that. It's a really powerful song, and it's really sung well. The 25 here flips and reflects the 52 of the Queen of Swords, Lady Liberty energy, which is 44, her Athena, a.k.a. or alternative personality there, Hercules. The 44 of Hercules' birthday, 25 to 44. Remember, 25 is a quarter, and so is 44. It's quarter, quarter. Quarter, quarter, and union. As she makes a wish to blow out the candles, the Knight of Wands blows a kiss too, right at you from the ethers. Esther Williams and Venetian trails in oily waters, remember that's a portal, oily waters of Venice or Las Vegas. And Vega came up too. The meadow in the Philippines, who romps in the open air, pleasure in eating, vegetarian perhaps, to consider, weigh, to make way, the valley to fight and kill, straight to Gibraltar, the halter over the altar, the mountains that once belonged together, whether African to America, but also Africa to Europe, Spain and Italy are right there, and Mount Olympus, which is connected to Asia Minor Mount Olympus. Our relations from everywhere, up, down, and all around, bridging through different mediums, ether, air, fires, and wishes, plasma portals, and solid mass-like mountains that all connect below the surface. They say it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday to you. Perhaps twins are coming, with 25 and 44 and 30 equaling 99 bottles of beer on the wall, a splattering of ale and algae in a conch shell, trumpeting across hell or high water, pi seas, and there's that parting of the seas, and Moses came up, pi seas to get there and turn inside out and through at the same time. Poseidon's adventure, Enki and son, and brother, oh my, as Pegasus is linked up with Andy by a star, and now that brother is no longer able to cause problems, and father is out of the picture, Pegasus also has an alter ego, Perseus, who rides him, as Pegasus wanted to be a human too, right? Because remember, Athena took on Hercules as an AKA, and so now Pegasus wanted to take Perseus on as his alter ego, as then the archer, okay? So Perseus, who rides him, as Pegasus wanted to be human too, but had to disguise Centaur as Dark Knight, the Grim Reaper, instead, to keep his crown. And Andromeda is and roaming father, Andromeda, with lots of drama and papacy. And remember, the papacy started at 538, but 1260 years later, in 1798, when the Pope was kidnapped, started the end of the papacy. Since 1798, kidnapping occurred in the continued falling of the Roman Empire, perhaps the Spanish mountains and Venice connection, El Conquistador and accommodations Puerto Rico way, perhaps Costa Rica too, and the Strait of Magellan. In the Poseidon adventure of 1972, which was New York City to Athens, the SS Poseidon's final voyage, on New Year's Day, overturned by a tsunami with passenger and crew trapped inside. There was an undersea earthquake, a tsunami approaching from Crete. An escape route can only be found upwards. And this is this is the summary from Wikipedia. An outer hull that's now above water. Only 6 survive. Only the lovers survive. And that 6 references Gemini and the twins as well. So 811 is the dance of the 11 of alignment, of truth and balance. And again, those 2 cards can be interchangeable in certain decks as well for strength and justice. The question mark here of Aries and consciousness. I see an Alaskan man walking slowly, swaying lackadaisically, eating everything in their path. Kind of like a Pac-Man, and this is a vision I was seeing. Venice to Athens, and then back through Albania, which came up back in 2016 for me. I was being guided to go to Jail Beach, which is Albania right there, or a cruise from Barcelona or Marseille, perhaps Monte Carlo or Florence, Rome, and all these other different cities coming up there. Bari, Venice, Sebenik, I'm probably not saying them properly. Anyway, it was a cruise that came up that went all the way from Barcelona to Marseille, and then up to Florence and Rome, and then ended up at Athens at the end, but went through Venice as well. It was called the Kussi, Kussi Cruise Project, I think, and then Viking Cruises came up as well. But anyway, this energy of just Venice to France, which is also the Adriatic Sea, as I went back to the read with number 42, to let love be your beacon and blush. The number 1 came up with Make a Wish, and this was all at 827, again, the dance of strength and the Queen's Gambit. The 13 of Renewal of Peace, the 10 of Open Your Heart, and the Magician, the Divine Feminine, to make a wish, as the transition of the baby fairy in the nook of the tree, safely tucked away, in renewal of peace, and P seal, the pie, and the gamma ray, the key, which is another way of writing pi. So again, the pi and another way of writing pi, which is that gamma ray, and the key, destined to open your heart to swan love. Sophia, 2 U's and 1. Thar she blows into a tree of fairies and tales, ending up on Swan Lake entangled. So at 833, the dance of that Christ vibration of unity consciousness, then we had the 8 of Pentacles, the Emperor upright, the Knight of Swords reversed, and the 8 of Wands reversed, working to align with the Emperor in control, holding his tongue in a heated exchange, at war with the Empress reversed, exploding and or pushing his buttons, suddenly taking off, dropping all their responsibilities, where then all hell breaks loose. The Magician's reversed, the Knight of Cups is reversed, and trying to run away from passion coming in a wake-up call, or an announcement, or perhaps in trouble because maybe they got in trouble with someone because they turned on an announcement or video, or went on the computer online. As Aries and Scorpio and Aquarius are upright here, but Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces are reversed. In a call out from the 5D world, or waking up the neighborhood, or healing a neighbor, or making arrangements or calls to heal by traveling around the world with Lover, the King of Cups reversed, and the Death card upright here, in some kind of injustice with Pisces reversed, Cancer upright, Gemini upright, Scorpio upright, and Libra reversed. Insecure Knight of Cups reversed, who could be jealous or rejected or just really moody, perhaps was called out, or surprising self because they suited up and looked at themselves in the mirror and were actually very pleasantly surprised. And a need for closure to end a cycle, to forgive or apologize in a bold move with a lover. Or Cancer and Gemini upright, with King of Cups reversed, perhaps Scorpio with Libra in their chart, with issues at work and looking back or unable to create in the past. As the Six of Cups reversed, with issues in childhood or in a falling out and now looking where he is, sharing, charitably drained by release with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community and their bliss. Or now that the worst is over, the Hermit star is upright, shedding light, and the snow is melting. The grandparents, the advisor, the Hermit, the Virgo, the dream girl, all at 9:22. Again, the Hermit and the Fool, or the Fool's journey. Going within, being wise, keeping the light on and watering the plants, being strong or taking care of the pet. With Virgo, Aquarius, and Leo all upright, all in a row. The Queen of Swords is upright with the King of Pentacles reversed, and the Queen of Cups upright, and a man with two women? Or is it a lawyer and talking it out? As Aquarius, Leo, Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Cups with Pisces. Perhaps could be two, or with Capricorn awake to the King of Pentacles reversed. As the Queen of Cups realizes it's time to go to bed, feeling disconnected or distant and defenseless to the energies of Aries North Node, leading the way with good news and breaking patterns, dropping the facade. Again, the true colors coming out at 9:36, which is that reference to 369 as well. So happy with self, satisfied, full, taking a walk before the Knight of Pentacles is making an offer. To the Page of Wands reversed and the Two of Swords reversed, who may be knocked off balance, presenting the truth. To the Page of Pentacles reversed, who may feel excluded, with no joy, needing friends to visit. Perhaps made them feel destabilized in a move or a visit or surrendering and then giving up. Perhaps an older sibling is telling the younger ones they have to leave the house while they have their party. As the Four of Cups reversed is with the Page of Swords upright, the High Priestess, starting over. As the Page of Swords is stepping up to speak on behalf of the High Priestess, or perhaps their higher self, or perhaps on behalf of an aide or a sister, a nurse, or a quiet one in the corner. There's no peace for the King of Swords reversed about grieving time, money, and effort, or giving time, money, and effort to the devil, an ex, or a temptation, Capricorn waving, or maybe they're being paid to swear in and fix things or make amends. With the Page of Cups reversed and the Hierophant reversed, or child of divorce, or school rejection letter, Pisces and Virgo upright, Capricorn upright, and Taurus reversed, overwhelmed, triggered, or pushed to the limit, dumped, Knight of Wands reversed, perhaps fell short of the Ten of Cups family expectations, or perhaps they played the family to get their freedom and just said, don't worry, they'll get over it. Implementing a plan but not sleeping well, or stressed out at the new moon with too many options or heaven in their eyes. As the fallen angel, King of Wands reversed in a losing battle with the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Queen of Pentacles given a choice by the Nine of Pentacles recovering together, or checking with the Queen of Pentacles before letting two come over or stay with them. Destined to get schooled here for flapping their gums, as Sagittarius and Cancer are reversed, but Aries and Libra are upright here. With Taurus reversed and Libra upright and a lot of choices to make, or checking out the unknowns in a divorce, or in being spiritually outside the box at 10-4, message received. And that's Libra energy, 10-4. So then we go into the next read. Make sure I have the right one. Yep. Okay. So this one starts out with Fortune's Oracle, Shaman Dreams, Journey of Love, and then the energy deck at the bottom. Okay. And again, the same setup. And so, yeah, and I still had a headache on the 18th. So these were pulled at 12:16 through 12:21. So 12, 16 is the hanging man in the tower, 17 is the star, 18 the moon, 19 the sun, and 21 is the world. 12, 21 with the rider deck. The numbers at the end of the deck were 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, and then 6, 3, 3, 2, 4, 7. And the energy of the Earth's tilt was coming up. So again, if you imagine the toroidal field as the two C's being up and down, straight up and down, when the Earth tilts, it's causing direction in energy as opposed to up and down. So that, you know how the Earth is slightly tilted one way. And that came up with the astrological chart as well. As what? Because I brought up a chart that they were giving me, a 27-day, 13-month chart that would mess with the alignment with March 21st, but not really because of the shift of the planet. That's what they were giving me, okay? So in a two-world leap, the divine masculine on the bridge, lover's bridge to the 47, or the heart to the crown, the 47 of heaven in your eyes, the heart to crown sweet spot, the two worlds split and the lovers on the bridge to watch the synchronicities and stay in their heart to crown. And the cards that came out for the Rider-Waite were actually 47 numbers, so it came out again. The queens at the gate for the masculine alignment on the bridge, the tower event in standing up for their dreams, and instant kickback, the boomerang, to truth and balance, to epiphanies and sudden events, free birds to the lambda leap in a boomerang, key gamma pi effect. So again, that boomerang key of the gamma ray, which looks like half of a heart, and the pi energy, which the pi then here came up as, you see the ram kind of energy there was coming up. So, but we only have a heart, half a heart here, right, with the gamma key, and then we have a pi that has two C's. And 2 pi is 3.14 plus 3.14, which is that 6.28, which is 6 of the lovers and the 28 of the twins. The lovers, the twin kind. The Empress also comes up with the 3, which is, and then the 14 of the free bird, and the angel, also a free bird in a different way. The Vesica Pisces of 2 pi, and captism as opposed to baptism, being blessed by the holy water, the vortex of the sea, Mother Earth's womb, the 2 pi and the 4 C's. What 4 C's meet? So I went online, and the only place really 4 C's meet is in Antarctica, which is surrounded by the Southern Ocean that's fed by the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian. Italy is also surrounded by 4 C's, the red, the black, the Celtic, and the dead. And that was coming up from answers.com. There are also 4 plates in plate boundaries that divide the plates of the Earth. They're called the divergent, the plate, the divergent, the convergent, and the transform boundaries. In Kanyakumasi, the southernmost part, in the Indian state of Tamil Nadu, the beach there, you can see 3 C's at the same time. The Arabian to the right, the Bay of Bengal to the left, or Bengal, and the Indian Ocean in the front. Triveni Sangam, you see the different colors of the waves smashing together. It is referenced as the sacred bath. And most experience it at sunrise and sunset because the waves look like fireworks. There's also a Swami Vivekananda rock is a memorial there on a big rock, but there's also, it's 2 rocks and there's a room to meditate there, which would be really cool to go to. So where the seas meet creates a vortex. You know that when the oceans meet each other, they create a swirling energy underneath. They create a vortex, which is why the ocean is also a womb. Why it's the holy water. The heart, the land between the salt and the fresh water, or different densities that creates the diameral vortex, the powerful energy, i.e. Antarctica. Italy is a prime location for the elites, right? You get it? So where all the oceans collect is where the elites hang out. This is a twin vortex. This is why you are a stargate. Okay, so again, the hourglass, the infinity symbol, the Vesica Pisces that all add up to the Merkaba coming together. Again, we're coming up like this, and you see now the diamond formations that are coming up in my drawings. All right, so you have the 8, but again, the collapsing of the heart, which is the infinity symbol, but then the heart is the collapsing at the top, right, where you go inward. And we also have these other energies here. So you have the 8, you have the collapsing of the 8, where then the directional force goes within, and then it splits into a chromosome, okay? So you see how it all works together. So when you cap the apple, because the apple is the toroidal field from the side, it's the donut from the top, but when it's the apple, and you're seeing the core and the 2 cheeks, when you cap off the top and bottom, the energy's got nowhere to go but within, and that's what creates the 2 humps in the middle, the E and the 3 back to back, is that star energy in the middle, that supernova moment. Was also coming up like a vein valve, right? When it's capped, it becomes a closed circle. The Vesica Pisces, the holy water of the 6.28, the spiral to infinity, the twin flame lovers, where the seas meet creates that vortex in the heart, like I said. The land between the salt and fresh of different densities creates a powerful energy, and that came up in another message too, about the strip of land between 2 seas, how the energy of between the salt and fresh especially also creates a powerful vortex energy in the land that's between it. So the underlying energy of the mountain then came up with the 22 and the 60 of watchers, and the number 60 was very significant here. I think I just got 60,000 miles too and planning a trip too. 60 kept coming up. 19 is Shakti, and then 20 of envy, which also brings up Nevada. Envy. The mountain and the moon that glows. Antarctic's southern ocean, an even circle at the 60-degree parallel. And remember, 60 is the 6 of swords energy of peace, peaceful travel, peaceful oceans. The Antarctica land reaches out to South America. If you look at it with the west at the bottom instead of the south at the bottom, the continent of Antarctica actually looks like a child with an afro, powered by a sun that glows without rays. And that was at 121. The 22 of the 5D station, remember there's a portal there. The 60 of the watchers is the card here, at the 60-degree parallel. Desert totems, transpersonal, crosses personal boundaries of nature or natural tribes. The South Americans watching, piggybacked lion and tiger, and that Tyon totem, the Pion totem, pie in their faces, right in front of them. The totem poles as the gate holders, the travel guides who cared for the land, together as one wherever they go. The Shakti sun, or the feminine energy, is the central sun of all that is, and those who would judge or envy us, or envy, come against her. And again, Nevada and Las Vegas coming up there. But envy also means northwest. Envy is also nuclear vessel, no vote, non-vintage, and natural sciences. But it also means in Swedish northwest. So northwest, of course, is Washington and Alaska, which is then we're getting into the Eskimos. And I had a cloud pic that I just posted too of Washington and an Indian, or the Eskimos. And the Inuit came up here, I-N-U-I-T. The people, subarctic and Arctic regions, northwest, and are descendants of the Thule, T-H-U-L-E. So the reason why Seattle's called Seattle, it's one of the only places named for a chief. Chief S-I-A-H-I, pronounced, I think, C-Alf, is what Seattle is named for. The Puget Sound runs on the coast of Washington, is an important source of sea life for them, the salmon. And this is all from ala.org, A-L-A.org. and the American Library Association came up here. The totem poles are a traditional art form from the Coast Salish peoples. The crests that represent the clans of the coastal Alaska and Canada groups. A group of Seattle men actually brought one of the totems back to Seattle and then called it the Seattle totem, but they actually stole it. The Tlingit tribe later sued and actually won. I was also getting, in changing the circle into a heart, making that dent, I get this energy of the point flapping over to actually cover it so it can't be seen. And it's kind of like that hymen energy, right? Or even the circumcision flap. Okay, so that energy of the masculine and feminine there, I was just getting that now. So the indigenous of Antarctica, so I looked that up. And of course, they're going to tell you there are none, right? Because they want to own that place. In althistory.fandom.com was very interesting because it came up as very literal, not as a game. The Ognean in the west and Maori in the east. Bellingshausen, home of the Clotharic peoples, have died by disease and war and relocated to Ognia, and the remaining AIPs have not been reservationized by the government. Okay, so they weren't recognized as being the indigenous of Antarctica. From livescience.com, Antarctica, this is live science now, right? A legitimate source for the traditional community. Antarctica is likely discovered 1100 years before the Westerners found it in 1820. The Polynesians may have discovered it in the early 600s. A new study says 1300 years ago, the Maori and Polynesian history since the 7th century, a handful of Maori joined their voyages as crew members and even medical professionals, although there was prejudice against the indigenous, was very prevalent at that time. The Greeks named hypothetical continent Antarcticos, or land opposite of Arcos, which is the North Pole, the bear-shaped constellations of Ursa Major and Minor in the north. The Polynesian explored Hui T. Rangiora, voyaged with crew, and if the 600s is correct, the indigenous found Antarctica even before the Maori arrived in New Zealand around 1200, 1300. The ancestors of the Maori lived in Polynesia. So Titaiuka-apia, which means sea ice apia, so there's my pi coming up as well, is like arrowroot, which looks like snow when it's scraped. The Maori wanted to see the rocks that grow out of the sea, the monstrous seas, the female that dwells in those mountainous waves, whose tresses wave about in the water and on the surface of the sea, and the frozen sea of Pia, with deceitful animal of the sea, who dives to great depths, a foggy, misty, and dark place not seen by the sun. So their history, it was kept as a collective knowledge. So, obviously most of them didn't write things down. They make sure all the tribe knows it, so it becomes collective knowledge, collective memory. So the glowing sphere, the snow-capped mountains, the desert totems, and the Shakti sun. The Russians versus UK and Americans, who were the ones who first cited it in the 1800s, 1820. The root of the wounded warrior versus the envious queen. All right, so here comes the Russians versus Americans, basically, because we're originally from UK. So at 213, which is the divine feminine or higher self, and the 13 of transition, and also the dark night, the 30 of the sun and the sunflowers, the flowers, the 23 king of wands owl, and the 32 transformation of the journey, the 22 of the mountain, the union with the sun, the wise king of wands owl, journeyed oceans to break the chains and transform the world, tempted by taking risk, going to unknown and perhaps unvisitable places where only fools would dare to tread, a portal to the skies. The dragonfly 8, the 20 of marriage, the 11 of the flowers come up again. As the phoenix and the angel, 2 as 1, the mountain and the sun, marriage, and an agreement to come together to make judgments and decisions. The mountain and Muhammad dance as pulsing hearts, toasting to their success, and so to be generous as flowers, cold inside out. So at 2:20, and again today's 20 of Judgment Day, and the 2 of the Divine Feminine or Higher Self, and the Q, the India launched their rocket to the moon on the 14th. So the 14th came up here, 14 and 12 came up together. Patience with a decision, open a book before leaping to hang out. And again, the heart is that open book, remember that. A wake-up call to go out or see the world with a best friend, perhaps. At 3:11 with 9, 25, and 21, the Hermit, the Knight of Wands, and the World, Virgo, Saggy, and Pisces, and the letters VSP, which also represents truth-sayers, prophets, to turn, and rounded staff. Perhaps a small 2-seater car for a visit. As the eagle soars, the phoenix rises. As the world and the moon meet, mother and daughter. EPM is the electron probe microanalysis. Extramammary, Paget's disease. As the eagle passes over the mountain, it erupts in a double diamond moment of mother and daughter. And again, the earth and the moon. The 10 of fire. As it all goes up in flames, the cross or intersection burned to embrace the renewal of the present. So the rocket that took off on the 14th is supposed to get there to the moon around August 29, 22, and I guess it's supposed to come back to San Diego on 10/10. Oh no, that's when the other rockets took off. It was last year. I was trying to get to 23. But July 14, 23, India lifted off to explore the moon. Late August, the launch, the Mark III, will attempt to land on the moon with robotic lander and rover intact, August 23rd to 24th. And remember, we have that connection around the 12th to the 15th from the Philadelphia experiment coming in this August. They have a moon craft there. India is also collaborating with the U.S. for a space mission, NASA, to provide training for Indian astronauts at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, with the goal of making a joint effort to the International Space Station in 2024. And this information was coming up from the NewYorkTimes.com. And Russians to launch their Luna 25 in August, and Japan to the moon in August as well. The Eagle, quote unquote, has not landed, but it's on its way to the moon. The 45 of repairing the veil after the failed attempt, for India anyway, and forgiveness of getting over the grief and the loss, coming back down to close the gap. The 23 of the Fortune's Wheel, of luck and right timing, the 25 of the Garden of Venus, the Knight of Wands, and the military taking off for Venus through vapor. So meanwhile, while they're blasting off, there's all these other people going through portals to go to Mars and Venus, etc. Maybe not Venus, but the so the military is taking off for Venus through vapor or a portal. The whole one takes off. The King of Wands and the Knight of Wands union to herald in the changes. The 7 of the key of the sacred covenant of the scroll writers and the totem watchers, or tying one on in a vehicle of peace. To the moon, Alice. And of course that's from the honeymooners, but Alice is one of the machines at CERN. touching down on the moon to feel the peace after a fiery launch. With 40, 17, and 43, the Page of Cups in a mindful group think, the star, the eye of the needle, with intent, with natural connections, coming together, 43, with an overflow of good and plenty, overwhelmed with emotion, after desert storm. In the dance of the dragonflies, and the Page of Cups coming up there, the contracts to channel, after watery Cancer, coming fiery lion, the lamb and the lion, two perspectives, the grandparent and the grandchild, aligning for joy, flowering or flowering and overwhelming. Aries, Leo, Aquarius, Libra here, and Sagittarius, Pisces, and Virgo. At 3, 4, 5, staying alive, the 22 of the Fool's Embrace, the 50 of the Spirit of the River, the 6 of the Cosmic Womb in the leap to transmute pain, and the 10 of Cups in the move to adventure, diving deep as lovers in the cosmic womb of the Divine Feminine. Landing in the ocean while explorers under the seas, families leap of faith, and this girl is on fire. They meet of Fae and Metatron's magnetic service. So it's like this blast off from the center of the earth meets the Fae and Metatron's magnetic service, spiraling of Ganymede's superfly portals to ocean sight with jellyfish, womb and ocean, with sealed bubble, the sac within the fluctuating body where the souls dive into, the 10 of the Wheel of Destiny, the 3 to 1 jump in a tunneling vortex waiting for orders to come in, the 18 of the moon and distant shores to jump to, 4 moons, 4 seas, 4 plates, and 60. All right, so 60, not only the 60 degrees of Antarctica, but also the 6th dimension coming up here. August 28, 23 is the 4th moon from there. That's in Scorpio. So 12 plus 60 here is the 72, the masculine and the feminine, and the peace of 60 with the 72, which is the 72 by 72, but it's also the 4 of Pentacles, the divine masculine in the bat cave. And that, the 12 and 60 came up, and then on Indigo Angel, the guy she was talking to had calculated 72 by 360, talking about the 25,000 year cycle, 920. In the tunnel under the bridge is the 28 of the twin flames and the sacred convergence to a cold place of ice. A meet on the moon, or is that at the bottom of the sea, and the meeting of the minds, the hangars and the igloos, or 9/11 memorial through the Holland Tunnel in a heartfelt gathering that in spring becomes the rose. 46 to 47 in the vortex, water under the bridge, to the sacred convergence of spiraling heart vortex lit up within, a spark as the rose petals open in a destined Cancer choice of path. The twin flame leap to the sun, the Shakti sun, right? The shock and the T is source, through the chakra system, root 66, which is the rose heart, the Queen of Pentacles, and the aqua rose gold mother's heart, the 21 that she is the moon, the world, to 1 or 21, the feminine and the masculine. Aries, Cancer, and Pisces, and Leo dance on the cusp. Instead of the vortex, it was coming up as the vertux. And what came up with that was the vertuction is to cover up, to keep a secret, to paint or use mascara. And then vortuccio, which is a name, and then vortux came up, V-E-R-T-U with the 2 dots over it and the K and S, which equals ver, V-E-R, to beat, throb, mill, mint, strike, pant, palpitate, to know, to see, the worm, far, the arch, the cousin, distant version, the truth, vermec, which is to give, a case, cover, see, spring, to be, blood, the bridge of the womb, of blood, truth, knowing, to beat and throb, encased and covered. And again, coming from the vertices. The mother's center is the womb of the daughter moon. Remember I talked about that too before, right? So the center of the earth is the mother's womb, and the daughter comes from the mother's womb to the moon. The 21 of the whole and complete, demure, Leo sun warrior, and soft Pisces world within. The 66 coming together at the Golden Gate, Route 66, the Queen of Pentacles in the heart, the vortex, the chambers of the heart. I was getting chambers of commerce as well, but the chambers of the heart hitting the presses as the wheels are up against each other, churning them out, just like hitting the presses. The agreement, the marriage, the details, a coming together of the collective memory, the 16 of the heart of the moment, of the sun and the world, the heart and the tower. As the sun nourishes the world, the heart nourishes and inspires and heats up. It feeds the body. So it's giving you that same reference. Just like the sun takes care of our planet, the heart takes care of our bodies. A heart opening of overwhelm, a sudden breath in surrender to the moment. When God speaks, that 33 card of that Christ vibration, the unity consciousness, when God comes in and speaks through you, and again, that change from inspiration of breathing in to aspiration of desiring to breathe in, right? God speaks through you as the sweet soul rising, the 20 of coming in to carry you home, and today's the 20th. At 424, the lambda leap to the crown, the rings of time with the 44, and there's God speaks is 33 and rings of time is 44, so there's that 3344, my business number, but also references going from 33% of our DNA to 44, increasing our use. From the old way of 44 in the 3D, Source crosses the bridge at the same moment that you surrender, waking your inner child to rise up, perhaps a walk-in of your higher self. Birthed from the cosmic womb, someone may be jumping in as another is checking out, or a bell sounded as someone got their wings in the sound of freedom. At 428, the lambda leap and the twin flames are choice of path. Remember, the choice of path really isn't a choice of path because it keeps weaving back and forth upon each other. The 46 of the thinking man and the 35 of the first chakra, Archangel Michael comes up here as a bridging angel of Michael, of my Cha, which is a T, or T is the top dog. It's also a Korean foot. And then El, of the Elohim. My father El. My crying to dawn and rise, to eat and come and to be. My 4 and 6 El. Again, this is Michael. The lambda leap and mother's spiral. You must be strong to save. You must be strong to serve the first chakra here. The 20 of envy and judgmental, as Michael's helping the 4 and 6 of the 46 innocent children of the thinking man, and the dark mother here who's envious of their Tyon totem connection. Remember, the 4 is the masculine energy and the 6 is the feminine energy, right? The lambda leap and the spiral. The 4 is to come, which is the Cha here, is 4 and to come, T, crying, weeping, and to eat. And the 6 is the Chihuahua comes up here. It was interesting too because Chihuahua came up in something else this week too. To dawn, rise, to be afraid, the father, sharp, and beaver coming up with the 6. The 29 of the 3 of Wands, present to the earth, world, and gifts, or waiting for her ship to come back from earth. A wake-up call of the stallions, those stall lions who have been still too long, as the black and white stallions are off in a pole collapse of supernova attention. Is Venus jealous of Earth? Has the loner Lilith come out? Seeing the big picture and taking action to come together in a starring role, aligning with Thanksgiving every day. As the sun sends rays to Thanksgiving in November, the white horse and the black or dark horse get on the same page. I guess the red and pale were embarrassed or sick and couldn't make it here. With 32 and 21, the journey to the center of the earth, as one door opens and spiritually cleansed, a strategy, a plan implemented at the helm as the ship comes in with feather in hand, or dove who's come home drunk with a download that she had to write down now. So at 446, the Emperor and the inner children there, the innocent ones, right, or that lambda leap of the father with their innocent children, Captain's log, Starfleet, or Seven Sisters, is giving a spanking to get your act together because it's time. If not ready by 29, she's coming in with a vengeance by 32. Ready or not, here we come. She wants to come. It's been so long. Is this a dark woman who's actually started the sea world? Or is this a dark woman who actually started this sea world? A 2020 vision, planning to take over, but not planning on the stall lions being let out of their stalls or gates to close the gap once and for all. So again, it's bringing up the fact that whoever started the C word was actually a female. Top God here, so thank God. As the gale winds, which is spelled both ways, G-A-I-L and G-A-Y-L-E, as the gale winds blow open the door and dove breezes in to tell about their ship's journey, perhaps returning with drops of Jupiter in her hair. What a train ride, that holy G-rail. I must write it down before I forget it, being cataloged into the collective memory bank in Rings of Time at 452, the Emperor and the Queen of Swords, again Lady Liberty and aka Hercules. So implementing a plan to separate at 53, the Knight of Swords, Messenger of Truth, in a need of peace to break the chains and detox, knowing in doing it you'll go from the Seven of Pentacles to the Four of Pentacles, or the Divine Feminine's heart to the Divine Masculine's heart. Holding on. Remember what I told you, when they come together, there's like a switching of the heart. The inner two that they share, like the masculine gives his heart to the feminine side and she gives her heart to the masculine side, and that's the part they share. With the Page of Cups Hierophant, or the child bride married to the King of Cups, or the Page of Cups and King of Cups are very religious or structured, or church or synagogue or temple offering kindness that's not expecting anything in return, or the King of Cups sent the Page of Cups on behalf of the institution to get money from them that they're not willing to give, so they send their innocent little one in hoping that they'll break them. With the Death card reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, or Taurus with Scorpio and Sagittarius in their chart, perhaps fell short and clingy post-war or virus, with the Empress upright or Scorpio Sag, who got between the King of Cups and the Empress here, or between the Empress and the King of Cups and Page of Cups. As the Empress with drama in Schooling the Golden Goose, or Scorpio or drama between Taurus and Libra, or after a sudden event, the Knight of Pentacles heads to the Six of Cups reversed to settle out or up or share, to be done with that and walk away into that good night, counseled by star or elder or dreams, with Virgo, Aquarius, and Leo all upright here, or Virgo under the stars alone with pet, unable to sleep well at the new moon, but patient, knowing this too shall pass, or knowing an angel got their wings. With Cancer reversed and Saggy upright, or an angel on a quest to battle with the Queen of Wands to break up, or to get her attention, the Queen of Wands may be overwhelmed or triggered. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife, as the Queen of Wands is pushing buttons until the truth comes in, holding back an announcement or call, or needing to swallow their pride with so many choices at 508. At the Hierophant and Strength, or Dance with space between. The energy of so many choices or synchronicities and not knowing which one to pick, or perhaps needing the clarity of the unknown factor, or maybe one thing that's not known yet. So perhaps the Page of Wands reversed with the Eight of Swords upright is feeling trapped or uninspired. As the Ten of Pentacles is reversed, the Ten of Swords is upright. Family may be spending to end pain or in a painful ending, with clarity for the Page of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles both reversed, aligning with the Queen of Swords upright, saying it's unfair at work or in a marriage, for the money drained, or with crazy kids, or juggling that's non-stop, and the Emperor's holding his tongue as the Knight of Swords reversed rushes in. in a heated exchange, or getting undercut, or the rug pulled out from under him without a choice, with the satisfaction of the King of Wands upright and the Two of Cups upright partner coming clean about them slaving away, or all their burdens, of Atlas and the Magician, and only one who can do it, as the King of Swords upright withholds, or is saving, or perhaps playing hardball now, as the Knight of Cups may be withholding their passion. All right, so one's like they're withholding their time, money, and energy, and then this one's withholding their passions from them. And it could be like, if one withholds one, then, well, I'm going to withhold this. By the Nine of Pentacles reversed, dependent, may be left out in the cold. With the Ten of Cups reversed, unhappy family, or this ending of this emotional cycle. In a bold move or travel with lover to the King of Pentacles reversed, or Cancer upright with Gemini upright and the King of Pentacles reversed. Standing up, defending failure or neediness, or doing it under the radar, with the Queen of Cups awake to the grounding, integrating, and mastering of the wounded warrior, ignoring and defending the divine feminine's world, Pisces, neighbor, or coming together in joy. The home union, looking back or back to home of the past. The Page of Swords is stepping it up for the High Priestess or Sister's message about a meditation to set them free and get over it. At 519, the Hierophant and the Sun. And right after that is when I went to see the movie. All right, so, and this one, you have to watch this next one, because this is the American Pie rant, which was really good. All right. So here's this next read. We have the top deck there, which is the Fortune's Oracle, and then the Past Life deck, the Animal deck, and then the Journey of Love at the bottom there. Okay. And these were pulled yesterday at 9:30 to 9:33 in the morning. The numbers at the end of the decks came out 1111, which in Gematria is the first entry is Twin Flames, and then 2444. So it came out as 1111 and then 2444. And 444 is the angelic realms. And so we have 3 ones and 3 fours with 12 in the middle as well. All right, so the 3 ones is co-creation, and then the 3 fours is the angelic realms, but they're also 3 and 12, which are both 3s, right? And the 444 is 12 of the masculine and feminine. The 111 is the 3 of creation, or that third energy. And then we have the 12 in the middle, which again is the masculine and the feminine, or wisdom, hanging out. The twin flames hanging out with the angelic realms. The twin flames and gates to the angelic realms, well grounded into the 4th density. With double justice or double jeopardy, which remember means you can't get tried for the same crime twice. And when I looked it up again, it came up from Cornell University as L2, which I guess that's just their course name, but it was coming up as the capital L2. So the alignment of the 11 and the L of the Elohim, and the left at the right angle, and U.S. law was the title there, and the 5th Amendment, of course, which was coming up as the 5 of Pentacles, those left out in the cold. The 4 and the 5 of stability to freedom, and the 11, the L11 of the Lambda Father, with the 11, which is referencing the 2 weeks I told you about of Father's birthday, from December 7th to the 13th, and then basically the 14th to the 20th, and the 21st then sets the first cycle up, the first 27 month. Unless it's the 4th year. That's the only time that there's an extra day, and then that would be to the 21st that month. So with the Lambda 2 weeks of December 7th to the 13th, and then the 14th to the 20th, and then 90 days after that, which is bringing up the first quarter, the Vesica Pisces came up here of the twin flame holy water, and the energy of, again, the reason why it doesn't go all the way to March 21st is because of the Earth's tilt. So it now brings you in February, but it's still at the same spot because of the tilt of the Earth. And 7, so there's 7 or 7 to 8 days, depending on that 4th year. Then there would be 8 days in the 2nd week. And then 45 and 45 is 2 halves of 90, which add up to 104 and 105. And 104 and 5 in numbers, in math, comes up as a pair. I forget why they're a pair, but they go together. But again, there's that energy of the stability and the freedom that we have to go back and forth between. So the 27-day months, and 3 of them, which would make a quarter, would then bring it to 81 days, not 90. The quarter plus 1 month. So because we're bringing up the extra 2 weeks that come in, the 14 or 15 days. So it's 14 days, 3 years, and then the 4th year, it's 15 days instead. So 81, 81, 81, and 81 brings up that 324 days, plus that 13th month, which is 27 days, which brings it to 351, and then the 14 extra days, which brings it up to 365, unless it's the leap year, which then it would be 15 days there. So it's very interesting the way that came up. I could never figure that out on my own, but so it starts as 12/21 is the first month to the 16th of January, and then January 17th to February 12th, and so on. But they're each 27 days, and then ends up 11/10 to 12/6, and then again 12/7 being that first God's birthday to the 13th, and then the 13th to the 20th to ground and integrate. And then that 90 days, or the 81 days now, is supposed to be time to get there. And maybe time speeding up, so instead of 90 days, it now only takes 81 days to get here from there, wherever that is dimensionally. So then there was a bug in my ear, and there's been a mosquito in the house, but it was in my right ear, literally. I tried to get him to come back on me so I can get him out the door, but he hasn't been bothering me since then. I did try to get him out the door, but I couldn't find him. I did see him flying around. So the twin flames with the Omega, Queen of Wands, and the Four of Cups Hercules here. The Queen of Wands grounding and integrating, or crowning Hercules, her harvest, her vestiture, her V path, vestiture, it-U-R-E, and there's that E that's the C with the line in the middle, which is that cord. Corded on the whispering bench, the co-creation of the hanging man, which is also wisdom and Sophia, and also the divine masculine, divine feminine, and the angelic realms of 444. The 3, 12, and 12, right? 3 ones, the 12, and then 4, 4, 4s. 3, 12, 12, which is 3 to 15 and to 27, which is every 4th year, is that 15 days as opposed to 14. And then the 3/4 of 81 days. So again, it was bringing up the calendar again. The leap times 4 to the lambda leap times 3 of justice alignment to the emperor and her harvest. In the leap to justice and wisdom of the masculine and feminine, in the lambda leap to Herculean vestiture at 1040, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Page of Cups. So again, the vested comes from Hercules, means her harvest, and I'd broken down her harvest as well, which is her vest, basically, and her vestiture. She's vested, her vestiture. So the underlying energy here of 31 in the thorns at 1041, which is the wheel and the Ace of Cups, or the Holy Grail, the 31 of thorns, the medicine man and woman, the 3 of winter, or 3 of swords, which is 57, and the 55 of acceptance came up here. The crown of thorns to the nth degree, the horns or adornments, the crow of Jesus on the cross, because he was a scarecrow who can live without a brain, slim pickings, as long as he has his heart, his her, at 1044, the wheel, and her harvest of Hercules. As the eagle soars, remembering the lamb to leap to father before starting again, as mother holds space, a time to change, and space as wiggle room, he changes or shifts as she designs, of signs. Change is CH of that horsepower, and ange, which is angels. The horsepower of vexed moth angel, the messenger of a tight or oppressed angle, to indicate, to point out, to turn in. She of signs, and he of sifts. Good nights and feet, of a unit of length. She waves and he discerns. She ignores to ignite. He iftar, the evening meal during Ramadan that breaks her fast. She withholds, he indulges. She gines and he gifts. She births and becomes. He gives girths and comes. So the thorny crown causes you to call on the medicine man or woman to advise you on how to fill the holes in, giving the rest away. The thorny crown causes you to call on the medicine man or woman, right? Because if you take the crown off, you now have holes in your head, to advise you how to fill in that space, giving the rest away, right? You don't need anything more than fills the holes, right? Then you want to like smooth it over. Calling it even when you get to the surface, the skin, the hide and seek, with time in the winter to cuddle and heal, he all and warm, so that in the truth of acceptance in the spring becomes the rose. She who has risen above the thorns. When one is hurt, the other is drawn to care for them, with nothing in return, since now the hole is filled and even at the surface. A tie in hide and seek. Both get to win in no longer hiding or seeking skin. So at 11:01, the underlying energy of beware in the number 3, or one who soars, of one who changes colors to blend in, or hiding in the bush, not to be seen, perhaps lizard green, or just new at this, their nature to hide and yours to seek, until both of you are satisfied in a meet in the middle, or perhaps a belly rub. As the 24 patient and the 20 of marriage, and the hourglass, and hourglasses. This is literally the two cards that were next to each other. One was the hourglass, that looks like also the 8, and then two people raising their glasses to each other were next to each other. All right, so the hourglass and hourglasses. The hourglass shows the attachment in reaching to the other side, whereas the two glasses, who are both more than half full, show you that you are attracting unconditional love. Remember that nothing is solid, not even the hourglass. There is space in the middle to give each other a break, and cheers as well, a toast at the end of the fast. The 3 of the Empress and the Queen of Wands, 24, the mother and the daughter in a marriage without attachments, a wake-up call to the number 2, supported by sourcing, and the 5 of celebrating. And remember, 2 and 5 reflect each other perfectly. The 5 in the reflecting and opening the gifts of the Divine Masculine, of unwrapping and unraveling, to see the light, after the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands, of 20 and 5, the Jack in the box, where the snake pops out, the 28 of the 2 paths at the same time, the intuition and healing powers guiding you to a better path, to just be careful as you care for the other. Remember you're caring for each other. After you merged and married, you remember that you already did that. You're already married. The 2 snakes came out to pave the way to create. Le waves, way V, the way of creation. At the end, the lion roars in the 16 of a tower moment, the moment before B, which is also 13 of transition, and the 4 of the lambda leap. The lion is the L-ion connection. The L connection. Oh, that's so funny, right? The subway connection. I didn't even get that when I wrote it. The L connection, the chakra system that's turned on. As the twin flames have come into their power more and more, each lion's gate graduation. Graduation, gray 2 at the connection, the tiger lioness connection. As the ram bulldozes to get to the lion's gate, the lion's roar passes the baton to the archer's gate of thorns. Through Ram's gate, now after Taurus and changing of the guards, 717, after Gemini twindom carved their path home through Cancer to the lion's mouth, the ring of fire with serious tones, very bass tones, en route calling for the removal of the thorny crown. In a sudden screaming of an epiphany of the energetic exchange and hours of love, it hits the lion. They no longer want to be chained as the stall lion, no longer waiting to claim their gift, to birth and become, calling out to the tiger on the bridge, 12:12, the last night of the first week, or time to break the fast with two wise ones hanging out. Love you, hon. Have a good night. Sleeping in, of course, the night after 12:12 and the feast, breaking the fast, sleeping in on 12:13, the day of rest, that 7th day of the week, 7 more days to ground and integrate before 81 days, or 3 27-day months, to 311 of urgent joy, smile, or abundant mother, and the 9 to remember how it was, but no longer is. 320 is 80 days times 4, with infinite possibilities, with source backup at 11:31. And the lambda leap as needed, between 3 and 1, the space to escape the chaos of life in a suspended chaos control animated state. Where the 17 card is love, which is L-Ove, is here and is a belt. I was just getting love and love backwards too, right? Because remember, evolve is backwards love and then love forward. Evolve. So you have to say it like in Italian, but it wasn't coming up here before, but it's coming up again now. So evolve. The 17 of love is L-Ove is here, a belt. U, sheep, egg, to lay eggs, over and ovary, and ovmec, to complement, praise, to practice and exercise, his, hers, and its, zone, oven, stove. So zone is ove, which zone also means belt, griddle, band, and stripe. A morsel of a sphere, a cone, pyramid, whose tip has been truncated by a plane parallel to its base. And now you can imagine, remember that the Antarctica is at the 60-degree parallel, so if you cut off that 60-degree parallel, that's what they're talking about right here. A cone or pyramid whose tip has been truncated by a plane parallel to its base, ending abruptly cut off. So then it makes the, if you have the 8 or the infinity symbol, if you cut off the tip, you then have just the hourglass, or that energy in the middle, the X. If it's abruptly cut off, to enter a daydream state temporarily through boredom, fatigue, or intoxication, to doze off, girdle, or encircle, to sleep, to wander, to zone out or divide. And again, I was getting that energy of Antarctica being separated from the earth. So love is to hunt, layer, law, permit, praise, vomit, to lie, promise, consent, leave, chase, pursue, catch, and the now moment. Vacation, holiday break, a turn, a round sea, one equal and congruent to love, E. So we get to, after love coming up, and L and all that, and love, because love is L-O, L-O. Well, so is L-O, E-L-O of Elohim. L-O, and then the V, L-O and V, which is creation. L of the Elohim, the O of the human, embodiment of source, and the V of creation. L, human, creation. Elohim, the electric light orchestra, and him, its conductor, or the song. They play his tune or his song, strum in my heart with their fingers, sing in my life with their words. That's you guys, singing God's words. Elohim, L-O-I-M, serenading Seraph I am. She absorbs within and includes and overwhelms. She is the whole as he is the elo, becomes one, integrates, embodies, merges, fuses, mingles, acclimates as he excludes, tires, bores, disintegrates, disembodies, separates, and projects without. Elo, I am. Whole, seraph, I am, with 6 wings. The seraph is the E sharp, the Sherpa, shaper, sphere, phaser, and harps with an E. The birds of prey, the hawk or falcon or sickle sword, the harp or lyra, or lyre, however you pronounce it. So I look up ELOH for Elo, and the only one that comes close is Opia, Elo Opia. So it's O and P, which means Mercury and Quicksilver, HG. The lively person, especially a child, without teacher, April, open, too open, without flatbread, wealth, or assistance, and it is white. And then Opie, of course, comes up there. A pure child in need of assistance, teacher. He is the curious child, and she his instrument to play. So after removing the thorny crown comes love, a dream come true, walking around in a daze, the 17 of love and the 18 of lovers' romance, the 2 paths enveloped inside each other, the 13 of transition of goals and transitioning to the gold, of making progress to the ancient one, and the goals of AOLO actually is number 8, and the pot were coming up. The goal of the spiral of the C and the 8, the melting pot. The perpetual leap into pot of jumping in, working back and forth until what? Well, until you reach source. So the goal is go all or O-L. And hairs, H-P-A-R-E-S, is HP and Aries, which is horsepower and Aries. And the seraph was coming up here too, of standing up. HPA is the shoulder reference of allowing someone to lean on your shoulder. The hairs of the rabbits with the P in them, or the pi symbol, pi in, which then takes me to my pin symbol, the Vesica Pisces again. So remember, as I was talking here with the pi symbols, and then it takes you to the Vesica Pisces, and then the mushroom energy, which also you see references the penis and the balls, but also brings us back up here to my pin symbol, where the 2 circles at the bottom of the pin are the Vesica Pisces. Here's the masculine energy, the housing is up top, there's the whispering bench, and the pin that comes out is the feminine that, when it's out, collects energy from the sun, and then it vacuums closed until he gets around to vacuuming, and then it opens again, so he can get some. Okay, so that comes up here. She longs for the sun, and he vacuums to get some. She includes, he excludes. And she was in the pin, she comes up as D, he comes up as B. And again, to be and to be divine. So the energy of the circle, right? So the masculine and the feminine, right? The masculine being the elo, all parts, the whole, this circle, whereas the feminine is the dot in the middle, the 0 point, the whole, the seraph, the even, or the evening. So the 35 of the wounded warrior, desires are ready to come in. The heart is on, like an ET moment, an open book as the heart opens up. As the angel number 2 spreads their wings, and the 26, which is also this energy here of the bow, the 2 and the 6 coming together is the Page of Wands. The twirling cap came up with the hovercraft. As the plane takes off, as the phoenix rises, the 25 of the Knight of Wands is also the 2 and the 5, which is the perfume bottle, the flask, the forgiveness, the blessing of someone blessing someone with your presence, your scent. To the moon, the world romance. As the wounded warrior's heart opens and plane takes flight, The angel, the higher self's wings open and ignites. Perhaps from Florida to Phoenix, and you notice the same energies there with FLO and then PHOE. The moon, to the moon, Alice, and again going back to CERN again, discerning. A blaze of fire destined, one for all, which is all as in the W whole, and then all for one is the AWL of the whole, the HOLE, because the all makes a whole, is the 41 of the Holy Grail. He is the angel whole with the W, the two U's, and she is the Holy Grail of love, swapping hearts as they become one in the 8th circuit, the two-ringed circus of the angel and the phoenix that fly as one, discerning as Alice flies to the moon. Alice is all ice as hell freezes over, and the Page of Wands is in flight as the Knight of Wands is rising, horizontal and verticals crossing at the cap or cut off at the root, with 0 degrees and 60 degrees, the 0 point vertical and 60 degrees horizontal, straight through. CERN into another plane of existence in a 2-1, 10/1 leap of the dance, the BUN dance. So abundance is coming up. A BUN dance, and BUN is the kidney marker, and your kidneys transmute your bodily energies. So here's that energy of the leap of abundance, a bun or butt dance of transmutation. So again, it's everything works out. Just keep the vibration high, and then the collective memory automatically changes what could end up being a catastrophic event into something really positive here. So just remember that. The fresh page, as I turn the page at 1240, which is the Hanging Man and the Page of Cups. Ah, white and all clean, Saint Germain and Isis, where saint is say in the cross, and Isis is word, in tis is. To use human path, in tis is or tizzies, source z's or waking sleep. The walking dead wake up to sleepwalk instead. The star-moon transition of the star-crossed lovers to the moon with Alice currency or currents. All ice, inner childy current of the whispering bench, question mark. Where Alice with CERN is Alice CERN. Alice Car is to base or lay a foundation, and alicorn is the horn of the unicorn as a medical ingredient. The mixture of Pegasus and unicorn, Alice CERN. The iron sword, shackle, fetter, the metal iron. All iron sword and shackle at the same time. All ice nurse, or Alice nurse, or Alice to earn, which equals run, flow, and coagulate or curdle. Stir, grieve, to cause eyes to water, smart, pain, and torture. So the unicorn at 150, which is the leap to emotional fulfillment with the 10 of Cups. The unicorn, biblical, male, female, medicine, man or woman. The drilling and hammering of the unicorn and the carpenter. Back-to-back Taurus, and the dream catcher, medicine, man or woman. Alternative and traditional, even biblical, male and female healing together by catching dreams with grids and angels hanging from them, a puppet show, the field of dreams, and the thorny crown of American Pie, shared resources, shared lineage, line, arc, cap, bridge. That leap across the bridge, and the thorny crown hanging over their heads as the jester stole it. So you know where this is going. Father, authority figure, and spouse. With sparkle in his gavel. What a part to play. But helter-skelter in a summer swelter, the birds flew off with a fallout shelter. 8 miles high and falling fast, it landed foul on the grass. The players tried for a forward pass, with a jester on the sidelines in a cast. Now the half-time air was sweet perfume, the forgiveness of the crushed violet, while the surgeons played a marching tune. We all got up to dance, but never had a chance, 'cause the players tried to take the field, but the marchers refused to yield. And the reveal here, do you recall? The day the muse of the inner child died? Out of gas and drunk is no way to live, but singing all in one place, now that's a generation all lost in space, with no time left to start again. So come on, Jack, and be flame, with beanstalk and game, 'cause flame is the devil's or Capricorn's only friend on the chain gang. As I watched him on the stage, hands clenched in rage, no hell's angel could break this bond. As the flames climbed into that dark night to light the sacred left and right, I saw the tan man laughing. Can it be the age of Aquarius and the letters S and C? I met a girl who sang the blues. I asked her for some happy news, but she just smiled and turned away. So I went down to that sacred store, down deep, where I'd heard her music years before, but the child had left, and the muse could no longer play their song. In the streets, the paths where children screamed, lovers cried, and poets dreamed, but not word was spoken. The church bells all broken. But if every tongue were still, the noise would still continue. The rocks and stones themselves, drinking from a stained stein of Thorpe thorns, Evie, which is the house, adorned to the nth degree in that house of dynasty, drinking from a gentle pool of wine, they would start to sing. Ho, Xana, hey Xana. Those 3 men we so admired, the father, son, and the one who ghosted, caught the last train and coasted into Ed, the day their inner child stopped loving them altogether instead. You know the one attached and resistant, and all engines on and paralyzed all at the same time. Well, ho, Xana, that's you, and hey is for horses, again you, the whore who sees the S's and C's, you see? The Holy Grail, divine feminine, waiting for the divine mass and holy communion to enter. Through the crown, of course, stage right and left and all around to the ground, to get out of the rain 2 by 2, and 4 by 4s taken down and burned with ether lit by plasma. No more chains to link and cross to bear, transmuting the crossed paths into a grid point instead. You see the Holy Grail and the Holy Communion. You see, the cross is Mercury and Venus with their heads chopped off. No wonder Medusa is so pissed off. The sun god's closest messengers, Gemini and Virgo, Taurus and Libra, cardinal fixed and 2 mutables as go-betweens, 2 air and 2 earth, as ray and ether in desert storm, are willing to face the cyclone across the desert, headed towards that totem pole, where heads will roll, and the rolling stone will rock with the gift of sight. At 257, the divine feminine and the 3 of swords. So that father, authority figure and spouse, a dark night, of course, with bread and butter and water in a rusty tin cup, that the high priestesses whose bags are packed and ready to go to work her way up that pyramid, that holy grail from root to tip, as man can live on bread and water, and woman can live without and with their daughter. The dark night is Mercury with sword and shield, the S word, sworn to hold tongue in so their head doesn't fall off. And the high priestess is Venus with the S words, sword, S healed, and S warning, that she'll gather all the forces in the universe to keep her head on right when speaking to the night. As Mercury and Venus, you see, have always been close but out of touch, for which he is starving and she's hanging tough and packing, with heaven on their mind, weighing in one for all and all for one. She the whole maker with grail, God's rail, tunneling effect within. He the whole gathering effect without, projecting his magnetism. Perhaps she is the night and he is the high priest, as the grounds begin to quiver along the flower's bed. With his sword and her S word, he has some change in his tin cup, and she has shape in her shiftiness, as the rolling stone doesn't goeth alone on this rocky path through the 60s and 70s of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So at 322, the Empress and the Fool, the dear one, Princess of Summer, yes you, Hermit number 9, your light lamp post with sparkling fireflies all around it, and butterfly, as a pillar of the truth, the panda teddy bear, who reaches higher on the tree, or pulls down some bamboo, as the dear one, Mouse, Emperor number 4, is timid and flowers or flowers and very organized with their nuts, berries, and lifesavers, tokens and washers, and butterfly too, or both collectors in different ways. Apparently the mouse is all yours, dear one. When the hermit tells the emperor the truth, the mouse becomes a white peacock, fully fanned, ready to move on to a happier future. In the 3 of winter, or the eve of winter, as 2 birds, rose-breasted grosbeak, cuddle up, as you don't have to endure sadness alone. But once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than before. The 7 of winter, 61, is the magpie here, so be extra aware of your actions' results and what others may be doing behind your back or with your stuff. Someone's been collecting again. Perhaps they're collecting bamboo. As the 6 of summer, or 6 of cups, is the goose, as love and care of children becomes an important part of your life, or the 46, or past returns to be healed and or revived, as the 2, the high priestess owl, who's wise with their words, time to pause and reflect and trust in their spiritual gifts, as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition, or intuit, twin tower of you and I connection. Someone may be making house calls, or is that mouse calls, in separation at 342, the mother and the 2 of cups, or the empress, abundance, and accepting the truth. Taking a risk to love things that you love, people that you love, and wise reflections you love. 61, 46, and 2 equals 107 plus 2. Destined 7 and 2, the pi and the q. The only difference between the pi and the q is their lines are the same, they're just in different angles. The 21 of the world, the princess of water, the page of swords, 54, and the Shetland sheepdog, and the seagull. Graduation, completion, and world travel with a message. Accept the message without reacting to its presenter or presentation. Loyal, truthful, and curious, but also undiplomatic, which is why, don't pay any mind to who's presenting it. Just take the information. As the star and the 10 of cups with the 354, the empress or abundance, or that soaring eagle with the page of swords, the messenger of that emotional fulfillment, the Ariel and the prairie dog, you're about to take a big leap forward with optimism, and Tim keeps coming up again, which TIM comes up as the top dog I am. A big leap forward with optimism, hope and joy coming home to roost. With the 10 of cups, time to express your love and appreciation for your family, be it relatives or a chosen family of close friends. Congratulations, perhaps, on a fulfilling marriage and or balanced children. As the underlying energy of the Ancient One, after the mother prays, this, remember the mantis means soothsayer. The mother here is the mantis in this card. The mother prays the soothsayer of 15 in the energetic exchange of becoming. The 52 of the Queen of Swords receiving the light. The 69 of contemplation of the 698 pod. And the 63 of the suffering and silence in the light field, fully exposed in the center of the bridge or traversing that shitstorm to get to the other side of acceptance in the truth of your fairy tale and happily ever after. So at 4 o'clock is the double zeros behind the Emperor, or that lambda leap, and the number 12 of self-initiation, the 64 of sensual awakening, and the 43 of the bride offers herself. The hanging man's bliss in coming together in joy as she swirls and twirls in the vortex, wondering where he is. Here, now, intimacy, the top dog I am, AC, on the whispering bench, and the sound of freedom was Tim. The 35 of the wounded warrior surrenders to the 66 of coming together with the Queen of Pentacles as engines churn in a sudden heart of the moment. As with her, when he gets excited, all the blood rushes to his heart, and God speaks through it all. As the 33 of standing up for your family of 2 and 2, and you too, after the 16 to 717 stars, the 10 of summer starts, destined family happiness with 1 sword, the S word, 2 U's on the human path. Say it soft, and it's almost like praying. Sophia, I just met a girl named Sophia. And her word, Elohim. And you, Sophie, Buenasera, PH, so balanced you are. Now, Elo, I am, a large herd of reindeer, chain link and very lively now, with elephant trunks and clear slate. Hello, what goes around comes around. Do you like my hat? I am the tan man with a yellow hat, with a curious nature. So there you go. I love that one. So before I get into the one on the table, I have another one for you. Am I going to do this one? I'm just going to give you the messages from today, and then I'll get into the read on the table. That was a quick one, and I'll review that last one. It's a quick one. I'll just review it and make sure there's no points that I need to bring up with you, and I'll bring that up next time. But from today, so first thing when I pulled the cards, I just pulled a few cards this morning. So these are the cards that I pulled this morning. Okay, so to the left is the underlying energies. And right away it was taking me into the energies of the Merkaba. Okay, so there I have the 8, the infinity symbol, but also you see the hourglass in the middle. And again, the Merkaba is the 2 cones that slide into place together, but also is getting this energy, this diamond energy keeps coming up no matter what I do. So the underlying energy was the sunshine, and then the 30 of opening your heart, the 15 of the key, which keeps coming up as the devil in the key, which is the skeleton key, of the 32 of transformational journey, and the 32 journeyman, reflecting the 23 of the King of Wands that face each other in a merge of 323 and 232, right? So, yeah, so here's the King of Wands, which I'll put back, and then here is the, all right, so this is this energy right here, of them 23 and 32 coming together, okay? And this year is 23, of learning to master your passions. And here is that taking that action of coming in with good news, right, and leading the way. Okay, so we have this 232 and 323, and of course I had to look in gematria to see what kind of energy it was bringing up. And the message there was about any negative energy comes in, transmute it to love. So the Q comes up with the Z as well. Remember, the Q is the 2, but the 2 can also be a Z, right? And Q and Z are both 8s. 17, 8, 26, 8, 35, 44, 53, 62, 71, 80, and 89. They're all 8s. And the Vesica Pisces coming up again is the 8, coming into each other. And realize that this is still the Merkaba. It's just you're looking at the cone from the entryway. And then you can't see the cones because they're between the 2 points, right? This one goes from the sides, the outer one, to that point. And this one goes from the outer points to this one. So you can't see them because they're in between the 2 circles. You're seeing it top down. So it's still the 2 cones coming together, the Vesica Pisces. And again, if you put them the other way, the cones the other way, again, become the 8. Okay? So then the Z's came up as flask and filters. And the line being the support between them. But then it took me into the H, because H is also the 8. But H next to H is still H, but you see what it is. It's the cross in between the 2 pillars. It's also the middle of the window. But it's also the W on the top and the M on the bottom. Okay, so that's the rolling stone. And you notice that as soon as I said the rolling stone, you see the wheels turning over here. Okay, so you have the Vesica Pisces. And what are these? They're the eyes with the irises, right? That close the portal, right? Because your pupil is a portal. So then we have the eye, and this is the 2 coming together, right? The 2 cyclones, again, is the eye. All right, so here's the eye. There's the toroidal field and the cyclone, but again, the pupil as well comes up in the middle here. Okay, so you have the whole eye, and then here's that energy of splitting the Pisces apart to fill in the gaps with the 8, or the infinity, with the shared hourglass in between. So I just wanted you to get the image there. And again, you see too, when you bring the Vesica Pisces together, it wants to form the diamond in the middle. Okay, so we're going to this diamond energy. And then again, here's the eyes. I was actually drawing the eyeball, not the lids, but you see it comes up as the lids also when you draw the eye, inside the eyeballs, behind the eyes. The eyeballs and the lids covering them. So the Pisces is the shared space, right? You're looking at 2 coins from the portal aspect, the entryway. And then we have 30 to 15 to 32, which is the 30 of union, the 15 of the shadow, and the skeleton key. And then the 32, which is the journey, or the journeyman, being open to the union, going from the 5 to the 2, which reflect each other perfectly with the 3 in the middle. And that's the 2 is the divine feminine or higher self. The 10 plus the 15, the 10 plus 5, which make the 15, is the Wheel of Fortune and the Hierophant, which is also the WH and then the WHE and then the HE are the same in the beginning of the wheel and the Hierophant. And Hierophant is the master of the hidden house. So the energy of the 2 H's together comes up as the horizontal energy that's been capped off the sides, right? But the vertical is still free. This is like the twin flames with that star in the middle kind of energy there. So the energy of the W and the M, which is that window I just showed you as well, but it's coming up with Gemini, the Gemini symbol of the 2 eyes as well, because remember the H is the eye when it falls on its side, and the 2 eyes is the Gemini twins. When the horizontal lines come to the middle, a third is created. When the twins become the horizon, or understand the infinite 8, the line of the leap between the 2 dots is always an arc or a bridge, then a third vertical energy is created in the middle in that supernova moment. The union with the sun is the key to breaking the chain. As the sunflowers or flowers fold in upon themselves, beware of the 3 that shifts color and direction. Look for hearts in the round, not reptilian slits, as the eagle soars to source first before going back to 1 or the beginning again. In the 5-1-2, which I looked that up in Gematria, which is Bolsonarismo. I don't know what that means. B-O-L-S-O-N, Sun, Ari, A-R-I-S-M-O. And then Bradley came up, restarting. Seth, Rollins, City, Zach. Narcissist, Kathy with a C. Central Intelligence, Experience, Scheme. Limrot, and then the Magic Moment. The Name of the Lord. And then Break the Glass Ceiling came up. 323 and 232 there was a lot of negative in the beginning, but then you see as it goes on, it starts to transmute the energies. So at 1037, I wrote this down, which is the Wheel and the Three Keys, or the King of Cups, Unconditional Love. 323 was Lucifer, Durham, Mabus, Cult, Satanus, and then March 3rd, which came up for me. Capitalism, Commander-in-Chief, Rose Hannah, which brought up Rosanna, but also Hazana, Hosanna. I See Dead People, Strange, Catholicism, USMC, and then horses were coming up. They want you to think of the horses as something negative, but it's not. The 232 came up as Satan and Santa, both 55, both the truth, right? The positive and negative aspects. The climate change, Boss and Memphis. Boss came up as the number one truth. Then Memphis, Dominion, Kansas, Election, Collins, Pinocchio, Hope and Change, Gospel, 444, and Oregon, 444, The Black Hole, The Healer, The Hermit, Lucy, L-U-C-I, was number 270, which is that 27 energy of the Queen's Gambit, Homecoming, The Donald, and then Dolce. So the 17 card was all about love, love, and love. In Leaping to the Gamma Boomerang, the key Pi, where the line down the middle represents the collapse of the hourglass. The Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine, when shares their middle, creates that supernova star in the middle, collapsing to the dwarf and becoming like Sirius B, a very dense and packed with powerful energy, like the land between the two seas. The same kind of energy was coming up here. So again, anything between the seas becomes this power-packed energy. So it's the collapsing of the middle becomes the Pi again, but now it's the Sirius B energy of being a dwarf planet, very dense and powerful. The 36, so they're saying we as humans, we're very dense, we're very powerful. The 36 then came up hard, and then I was distracted again to draw the diagrams, all right, to make you understand again, all right? So here we have the infinity symbol and how this is collapsing in, becomes the heart. And then when it collapses all the way, it becomes the chromosome. As you see, just adding these more becomes the flower, okay? So here's the two hearts together, but here's the Merkaba, and you see the Merkaba is just 3 8s together, right? 8, 8, and 8. The same as the flower of life. It's just all in points. But you notice that one heart, right? One heart is an open book. Okay, and there's the two hearts together. So you can play with the images to understand how it all fits together. But the heart is created from 2 8s, or a chromosome that has 2 hearts that creates a third in order to complete them. And you notice that this is also the butterfly or the dragonfly literally is showing you they're creating the third. They have the 2 created, and now they're creating the third, right? 2 hearts is 1, and hearts are an open book. And that open book degree is 120 degrees of the masculine and the feminine with source energy supporting story time. The butterfly, the dragonfly literally shows you the third creating in suspended animation. And some of the energy I was getting here was coming, this was a great site too, sacredgeometry.blog. So remember the skeleton key, the sacred bone, right, the skeleton, and that the hips basically look like a cradle in a heart shape. And then the bones beneath that, you know, that support your butt are an 8. They're two circles, 2 keys. So we get back to the 36 of the world. And 3-6, but where's the 9, right? The 9 brings in that 698 pod. And this was at 1133, alignment with the Christ vibration. Where 3 is that energy of the bird and Mother Nature. you know, and Mother Nature shifts colors and shapes, and it can be very deceiving, right, when you're looking at it, because 1 minute it looks one way and 1 minute it looks like something completely different. But also the lizard comes up in this picture, to be careful. Then the 6 of the Chariot comes up here with the 4 unicorns and the coach, being a coach. And remember, and the 1 horse open sleigh, right? 1 horse is Mr. Ed and the open sleigh. And then the 9 comes up with the eagle, which is in the underlying energy over the mountains, reflects the Father in another direction, and the soaring eagle. And then the 7, which is the key, which is the firecrackers, with the pie and the fireworks, American pie of peace, love, and joy. And remember, in the Chariot, CH is HP, which is the horsepower. So the Chariot comes up with the horse. That's really cool. It comes up with the horsepower. And the coach, Mr. Ed. So it's really cool how the 3, 6, 9 then came together again. So so also what came up around the H2 is if you look up here at my little scratch. So you have, here's, you know, the 2 pies again, and here's that energy of the masculine, the feminine, and the star created between them, and the energy of the M and the W, right? And then the, how you make the 3 and the E is through going within, right? The pressure within makes that indentation there, but also that makes it that star moment that then runs between. It creates a power grid right there. And again, this is the flapping down of the point, so it becomes this energy right here of the heart when you go within. So then the indestructible bone came up again, right? Because everyone always talks about this, because it's called sacrum. There's a lot of history around the sacral bone being very sacred. But luz comes up again, because they were showing me all this stuff to confirm what I brought up to you about luz already. Because the indestructible bone, in the definition, comes up as the atlas or the coccyx bone. It's considered a small bone, a small indestructible bone. The almond tree, light, easy, or ease, free time, spacious place, enlightenment, point of view, understanding, span, and electrical. And also comes from lux, which is the eyesight, the glory, the morning twilight. So the luz bone for me was definitely coming up as the atlas bone, because it's the almond, and almond is part of diamond, right? So diamond, amand means almond. Atlas versus the coccyx, which is the bottom of the 18 vertebrae, or the head of the snake, but the atlas looks like the cobra's head. It's just small, it's not as big as the sacrum, which looks like a cobra head, and it has the dimple holes. But again, the energy of the atlas also can represent the almond shell too, from which the body will be rebuilt and resurrected. So it's supposed to be this indestructible stone. Atlas, remember, the atlas bone holds the pineal and the mouth of the spine. It hosts the soul. The almond is the diamond, the almond, the 2 worlds of vertical and horizontal, atlas and axis, where atlas looks like the pelvis, and it's Atlantis. The post-arch part of this is 2/5 of the ring, attaches to the post-atlanto-occipital membrane. The superior facets, or the large supports of it, form the cup for the occipital bone, with attachment for the transverse atlanteal ligament. Again, all about Atlantis energy. The 3 centers in the atlas bone, 2 each, and again, this is just from Wikipedia, 2 each layered, there's 3 centers here that develop in the atlas bone. The 2 sides, which develop at the 7th week of the child, and then extends backward to the 3rd anterior spot, which develops at the end of the 1st year. Again, 12 months. Or actually, it's 13 months, right? Because it's supposed to be a 13-month year. So we go from the 7th week to 13. So again, God's birthday, 7 to 13. And the atlas just confirmed it again. On top of that, remember that the brain stem is the butterfly in the middle of the brain. The brain stem, which forms first. Remember what I told you about the plant life? What I ended up reading just by accident today was, in the forming of the plant, it grows the stem first. the brain stem, which forms first, regulates the heart rate and breathing. You can't live without it. And when you look at it horizontally, it looks like a butterfly. So again, it was again confirming the atlas over and over again. So if you resonate with that, that's great. And if you don't, that's okay too. Okay, but that's the energy my guides were showing me. So it was really cool. I love the way they bring it through in such a creative way. Okay, so now we have the read on the table. So this one is right here. Oh, this came up too. Check out my Instagram. I did post something else today. So I was looking to see if the atlas was going to come up again. But what did come up was this energy here of the two hearts. Okay. And also, where's the other one? And this one also came up. Okay. I mean, it was from the same energy, but it just came up a different way in this picture. And you can check out my post to see what I wrote about that stuff. I also put out a judgment card for today and a little message there for you guys on Instagram if you want to check it out. And there's my judgment card, okay? And with the music, it's really powerful today, so check it out. So now we go back to this read. And again, it's just the SIRIAN Starseed deck is the main deck, and then the Rider-Waite mini to clarify everything, okay? So this was done yesterday at 6 p.m. I cut the deck, and 6:10 I finished clarifying. There's energy of the sixes, the six of love, community, family, and the lovers, of course. And 6:10 was bringing in the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, of destiny, of that high vibration. We had the moon, Luna, chariot, justice, the higher self in the read. Before the read was the hanging man, and after the read was reason, which is the emperor, and also the starseed. I pulled a couple extra cards on the side, but the starseed came up there too. With 1 cup, 3 swords, 1 pentacle, and 2 wands. And the 2 of wands, when I wrote, it's not the 2 of wands, it's 2 wand cards, but it was at 6:14, which is the lovers, and the temperance card, which is that higher love. So it's nice that came up with the 2 of wands, basically. So the Page of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and King of Wands were the main players in the read. And then after the read, the Page of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups came up. The only doubled numbers were 1, 2, and 3. So there's that leap, 1, 2, 3 leap or jump. 11 is just the justice, truth and balance, the 22 of the Fool's Journey, the 33 of the Christ vibration. And then I was just adding all those together too, is the 6. And actually there's 2 of each, so 6 and 6 is 12. So again, the cycles ending. And then the 6 was significant here as well, just by itself. And then we also had 34 of the 8 of Wands, 46 of the 6 of Cups, 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, and then 78, which is the 10 of Pentacles, the end of the deck, or Heaven on Earth. So the code line here was all about the number 10, again, coming from 1, 3, and 6. And here are the messages that came up from the code line. The bridge left, the twin flame digamma pi energy here, the gamma ray there, again of the Vesica Pisces, and time out to the nth degree. One of the twins seeing the key to the 3 of soaring, again horizontally, in the chariot vehicle, the higher self, lover, King of Wands. It's like Santa Claus running into them on the way up. You know, the horizontal running into the vertical. The divine feminine egg reflecting the Vesica Pisces, the holy water of source to the nth degree. 1/2 seeing the key of the mother, the empress, the abundance of the chariot, the higher self lover of the King of Wands, which is again is this year as well, learning to master your passions. Also the icy heart, or the icy 4, which is that lambda leap. The icy bridge to leap and fly. The temperature of what will come. Of water or emotion of the heart to the nth degree. Requiring a gentle touch of 2. Acing the total weight to seek 1 equal and congruent to the empress in the chariot, or abundant car or vehicle, higher self, lover of the King of Wands. The bridge perhaps is a dead end, or the middle. Maybe the middle is the dead end of expansion and contractions, the two halves. Once you enter, you can never go back. The holy water of source is the heart, a human foundation, a foot. Someone didn't want me to say that. Like I could literally feel someone jabbing me in the throat. The bridge, a dead end, the middle of expansion and contraction of two halves. Once you enter, you can never go back, right? Once you go up, you can't go back down again. The holy water of source is the heart, a human foundation, a footprint in the forest that allows you to leap and fly to the nth degree. One who carries the weight of the world, like the forest of the giant trees, right? The umbrella of the trees that sees the key in Mother Nature as a vehicle to carry us to our higher selves, our divine lover, by mastering our passions. 2023. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we start here in the underlying energy with the moon, which is reversed, Luna. And then the Eight of Cups and Hanging Man are both reversed underneath there, and then the Four of Wands upright, the Two of Wands reversed, and the Three of Pentacles upright. Perhaps after a peaceful trip, or just finding peace, perhaps uncomfortable awake at home, or uncomfortable about union, without the twin flame and no options at work at the new moon, or deception thereof. Trapped receiving passion, or at work in deception, with passionate offer from prisoner, or one trapped and anxious and hands tied. And by the way, the eyes of Laura Mars went up with one of my posts today, and I was just getting that energy, because they're like the prisoner of their eyes. The King of Pentacles and the Empress are upright here, being strong, taming the beast. Perhaps in a breakup, or in disconnect, or at distance, in a painful ending, or moving to peace away from discomfort of being awake at home, and without choice but to go to work every early morn, when passion comes in, despite best efforts to tame the beast held over their head. As the King of Pentacles and the Empress are strong, or the Empress or King of Pentacles could be both mother and father, perhaps with a pet, a child, or Leo, or mother with her wealthy partner or son, in a breakup with the Knight of Cups reversed, rejected, or perhaps jealous, with the Ten of Cups reversed and the Emperor reversed, stuck with unhappy family here. Perhaps the King of Swords reversed pushed them to the limit, or triggering the Knight of Cups reversed and the Ten of Cups family reversed and the Emperor reversed on purpose, or both the Knight of Cups reversed and the King of Swords reversed and the Emperor reversed may feel rejected by the Empress and the King of Pentacles, or the Empress bridges as the Emperor reversed tunnels his way through. As the Emperor reversed may not be happy having to get up really early for work, or having to be at the workplace at the new moon with the Empress and the King of Pentacles there, or with deception between them. So in the recent past, here's the Page of Pentacles reversed, in need of help and surrendering to divorce of their own or their own spirituality. Perhaps the Empress remarried or got pregnant by another man. Perhaps the Page of Pentacles reversed child is a Taurus or child of divorce on a quest for the truth and keeps plugging away back and forth at the Queen of Wands reversed with little kindnesses in hopes of something, as the Queen of Wands reversed does not align with the Ten of Pentacles family, business, and community values, with the Nine of Pentacles as well, or siblings or half siblings that don't get each other at all, right? With the Queen of Wands reversed is like the antithesis of the Nine of Pentacles upright sibling. As Pisces is reversed, Capricorn is both upright and reversed, Cancer, Aquarius, and Taurus are all reversed, or the Page of Pentacles child or King of Pentacles upright who gave up their own beliefs and now is on a quest for the whole truth from one ignoring them. The Queen of Wands reversed may be overworked by the Ten of Pentacles, or not working out at the family business, or always feels compared to the Nine of Pentacles independent one, the beautiful independent one with a home, right, in a big family celebration for them, or was independent and now they're home, now they've returned, with the Page of Cups to be with the Queen of Pentacles, or the Queen of Pentacles is reaching out with kindness to one or kids from the past, or healing childhood issues with their sibling, or children, or planning a big party, or travel plans. If 3, one may feel like the odd man out. The foundation here is the Ace of Swords. In the early hours, the truth is always just below the surface, and letting go of all your burdens and responsibilities or a load. Letting it all go, right? First thing in the morning before the sun rises. Needing a wake-up call, perhaps, when it's really early, as the devil or ball and chain waves seeking satisfaction, or once awake, that's where the addiction sets in. As the central energy is the 3 of Cups reversed, in a lack of joy or of coming together, perhaps there's bad influences here, or third party, or just feeling antisocial, or plans with friends were canceled. As the King of Cups upright is finding peace in either being away or when others leave, perhaps their family is always coming and going, and they have no alone time. Challenged by the Chariot reverse, perhaps issues with a car or driving, or no vehicle at all, or having to drive everyone places, or stuck at a gathering and not intersecting, or going through a breakup, maybe going through a breakdown, a break in, a break out, a breakthrough, and still living there, uncomfortable, but finding peace when they all go away, or when the King of Cups leaves for work. Could also be multiple work locations here, or stuck with them because they have no car, or had to work while they all went on a trip. No options here with the High Priestess without affection or in a breakup, and investing in isolation, a parent with dementia, or in coming out after hiding away, or sisters breaking up and planning a getaway with their brother or sister. At 723, again the boomerang of the King of Wands, or this year, in mastering their passions. With Cancer reversed and Pisces or Virgo upright, Gemini reversed with Virgo reversed here. Now crowning is the 6 of Wands upright with good news, and there to wake them up, leading the way, the fiery person with Pisces or Capricorn in their chart, being seen and seeing, perhaps for the first time, a disconnect or a distancing in sharing or wanting now to get this over with and be charitable to the death or ending, to be the hero and paying for the party, or are they paying for the funeral? Coming clean or cleaning up after the party, dumping multiple loads, emotional attachments, or just dumping stuff, no longer dreaming and defenseless without an excuse. Soon here is Justice reversed, or things aren't fair, of not being able to get in when the Knight of Pentacles and Knight of Wands are free to come and go as they please, or the Knight of Pentacles is bailing the Knight of Wands out, or vice versa. There could be someone here too who's really scared of learning to drive and needing to face their fears. Seeing the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands free isn't fair, as the Queen of Swords is at work with the Magician, perhaps Libra reversed, or Aries upright and Taurus upright, or Saggy who left work early without asking, or the Queen of Swords is speaking at work and making magic, or with Gemini or Virgo, or working on their own and coming and going whenever they want. The twin flames seeing themselves as the Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth, or is that the Knight in shining armor, sending 5D messages, as the Page of Wands reverse is unable to sleep, or just so tired, stressed, or suffering in silence and broken down, or about an accident. The King of Wands may be juggling or doing the daily grind, or performing while watching, while the Emperor reversed was doing. So maybe performing while watching multiple things, right? Maybe not paying attention to what he's supposed to be paying attention to, or trying to watch a child or pet while watching an ill parent at the same time, or kids are being forced to help him do this but are miserable, as the Page of Wands reversed and the Knight of Cups reversed, as the King of Wands is upright with new information about the past, perhaps about discomfort in dealing with their emotions, or too uncomfortable to look back, or in their misery, as the Page of Wands reversed, the Emperor reversed, and the Knight of Cups reversed, come out about something in the past that they never told him. Around the twins or how they're seen is the Two of Swords reversed, no longer comfortably numb or floating on air. Depressed Page of Pentacles reversed, maybe a pain in the butt about injustices, or always thinks nothing is fair to them, expects others to do things for them, or perhaps being seen as an opportunist. As Cancer, Libra, and Aquarius are all reversed here, with the King of Pentacles and King of Wands, but the Page of Wands reversed and the Page of Pentacles reversed could be siblings with childhood issues that are not healed, right? So these kings could be these pages as their sibling selves. Sibling rivalry, or mother's favorite, father's never happy with them, despite the Knight of Swords delivering every time and the King of Wands performing. Knocked for a loop, seeing injustices for himself, the King of Wands, as Aries and Sagittarius and Leo are all upright and reversed here. Fire signs all lit up back and forth. And the block here is the higher self, with the world upside down, or in the 5D world without their sunshine, with Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius all upright and reversed, except for Aquarius is both reversed, and losing patience. Pisces or Virgo is upright, with Pisces, Leo, and Sag reversed, or blocked because the higher self despite Pisces and Sagittarius kids out of control or always complaining, the higher self is still upright, right? Understanding that their higher self can be in a better place. They can be their higher selves and not go down with the crowd, right? So the King of Wands, shaman, is defending why they didn't need to pay them or offer their services to those out in the cold, injured or ill, or why the third party or bad influences offered them money or gifts. Unable to sleep and rising above, or the King of Wands awakening to rumors, or lying and spying as the Page of Swords is reversed but the Knight of Swords is upright, or pissed when the Knight of Swords awakens them after drama or sudden event or storm, heartbreak or ache or separation or heart stress, destined with Scorpio reversed, Libra upright as the Queen of Cups told the truth, perhaps air sign or Scorpio lied. As the Queen of Cups is saddened and let go, perhaps, the King of Swords reversed now wants to make amends, as the King of Wands upright and the Page of Cups are defenseless to the Emperor reversed and the Queen of Pentacles upright, in a breakup, rejection, or jealousy that the Starseed gets to fresh start, or start fresh with a big download or hit to the head, or icing their crown blew it wide open, or in a hot tub while a hailstorm came in. And again, that's coming up as the age of Adeline, right? That's what happened to her. It was something really hot and cold at the same time, right? So she either froze to death and then jumped back to life. It's coming up as that same energy. Perhaps after having to juggle the Emperor reversed and the Page of Wands reversed and the King of Wands upright, now with the Page of Cups, right, the positive one, and the Emperor reversed and the Queen of Pentacles is with the Knight of Cups reversed, to see how it feels to have to take care of these two at the same time. Or the Queen of Pentacles may be jealous that the Aries or Libra is now free. Perhaps he no longer has to take care of her family, and now she must do it. Maybe he's always done that for her. As the Empress is upright, the Page of Pentacles upright, and the Two of Cups reversed in a painful ending, or ending pain, or getting a massage and finding peace, uncomfortable not being able to walk away, or just not comfortable dealing with emotions of the awakening, and being aware of the union, or the home with no options, at the workplace or school, but the need to get up really early, or at the new moon, 717, to present or tell the truth to the Knight of Swords, who may be knocked off balance by it, and then the Page of Pentacles reversed in need of help, and uninvited to a friend's party. So the challenge is that there's no car, or problems with a car, or a breakup, a breakdown, a break in, out, or through. Unfair to the higher self, the inner knowing of the High Priestess with outstanding reputation, or success, or leads the awakening, and breaking good news, or bringing good news to the King of Wands and the Page of Cups, when they're defenseless to the Emperor reversed and the Queen of Pentacles, overwhelmed by the Knight of Cups reversed, getting their downloads. So perhaps the Knight of Swords is sending, and the Knight of Cups reversed is getting. And at work or school really early or up all night, as the Page of Pentacles reversed has a presentation or tells the truth of why they didn't come together, or bad influences in a group presentation, or the truth of a coven getting attention and now broken down, or friends who caused the accident but now with a good reputation, bringing in good news with the Knight of Swords with 5D messages of injustices and updates from the higher self to the King of Wands and the Page of Cups, who are dealing with a group or group attacks or family triggers, jealousies or schmoozers, and receiving downloads to set them free. So again, receiving the information at 816, which is the strength and then the tower event. The dancing with the tower, right? Dancing with those sudden events perpetually, on and off. So again, I'm going to pull from, let's see, I'm going to pull from the animal deck I was just getting. Let's get some energy from the animal deck, and then we'll go. It's 2:48, 53. Going within, to get the Knight of Swords message. And it's 4:36 on the clock, which is the Lambda Leap, and the 36 of the Atlas energy. There's another plug to Atlas, right? The Lamb to Father Leap to the Atlas energy. At last, my love has come along. All right, and from the animal deck, as we go away, oh, that came right up. As the cat landed standing straight up, just like on a little tilt, like a pyramid. That's the back of the card. We have the Four of Spring, the Otter. It's time to kick back, relax, and celebrate all you have. Joy arises from success in your career, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life. And Spring is the Wands energy, so that's that Four of Wands energy. It's union. And there's two guys there, two cuties, the otters, who are very curious, but they look very content right there. And we also have the Seven of Autumn coming up. Here's the cow or the ox looking in. The planning, resources, and efforts you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. Yep, there you go. So it's just someone checking in. It's me just checking in on the twins. And I am an ox, so there you go. Okay. We have the lovers at the bottom, okay? So it's all about the lovers, the heart, as it brings up the heart again, because I brought you that message. The flamingo is true and long-lasting love, finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. Union. And the Seven of Wands is standing up for yourself. It's that Christ vibration, it's 33. Just checking in on you twins. I love ending on that note. Okay, guys, so you know the drill. It's the unicorn's drill. Remember to drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, and put your feet out in the grass, get your nature. Rise and be love, love and rise. It's 5115. It's all in the eyes, Capitan.